absolutely amazing. And a lot of things have happened that we're going to cover with Tim Walz, Mark Kelly, and others. Now, but I wanted to start with Megyn Kelly here. And this issue with Megyn Kelly, this is something that I can't play on the radio because Megyn Kelly likes to drop a little profanity here and there to make her sound cool and hip while she's wearing, I don't know what she's wearing here. She's dressed like Trinity in the Matrix. I don't know exactly what she's wearing here. But she uses some language that I cannot use on the radio. So you'll get to hear it here on the pre-show, and I won't be able to play it when the radio show starts, at least not beyond just the beginning of it. But I don't even know if I'll take that chance, because if I don't hit the button in time, boom, But that's what the delay's for on radio. But this is a not safe for radio clip, and of course, what she's doing here is what she really wants to do, and that's to be a critic of President Trump. I know she's on the Turning Point USA speaking circuit, but Megyn Kelly is not MAGA. Now, she may say, I'm proudly not, but she's not MAGA, and I don't know why she's on stage at all the Turning Point events. Do you? I have no idea whatsoever. But let me play this, and then we'll talk about it. She's talking about the liberation of Venezuela over the weekend by the president. Which means she's going to sit on the fence and not take a position, because that might be risky. So she's going to take both sides. But she goes on. No, fence sitter. See, that's why I can't play it on the radio. The BS word. Can't say that on the radio. So. Okay, now before we go on, Venezuela is unlike any military conflict we've been in the modern era. And by the modern era, I begin the modern era by the end of World War II. We have been under constant attack by Venezuela for years and years. A literal land invasion of deadly people coming across like an army, killing Americans every single day, right? The Trinidad, the MS-13ers, the violent Venezuelans that have been coming here. They've literally been killing people. There's a lot of other crime they've been committing too. In fact, there's a story today that the federal government released some numbers. Auto thefts are down because they've been rounding up these illegals that have been involved in auto theft rings. But the amount of crime, the death, murder, assault, victimization of women in this country from Venezuela is off the scale. I mean, so that's been a nonstop attack, plus the strain on our entire system, every agency of government, because of this land invasion from Venezuela. We have actually been invaded for the first time by the illegals at the southern border, but Maduro was actually doing this for China, for Russia, for Iran, for Cuba, invading this country to weaken this country and divide this country. So we've had a literal land invasion of an enemy army from Venezuela. We've never had a military response in the modern era. 9/11's, I'm putting that on a different thing, but we've never had a land invasion like this in our nation's history. On top of the fact that so many people have been killed because of Maduro's drugs that he's been bringing in here too, which also causes a strain on the system and victimizes people. And it's just, you understand what's going on here. This military action against Venezuela was a direct response to multiple attacks on multiple fronts on this country directly from Venezuela. All right, let's get back to Megyn Kelly. Wait, Megyn Kelly's sons and daughters are going to join the military? Shocker. That's the first time I've heard that. We don't have a draft in this country. Is this some reworded monologue from someone back in the 60s or 70s during Vietnam in the draft era? Oh, really? So Megyn Kelly's two sons and daughters may have to fill the boots that are on the ground in Venezuela? What is she talking about? Okay, now I think what she's probably talking about is Operation Iraqi Freedom. Okay, so, who says that everything in Venezuela is going to go smooth? Of course, there was some incident last night that we're not really too clear on what happened yet. Maybe we'll find out more about that today. But, Marco Rubio talked about this. This is much different, Venezuela, than these other instances she gave, Libya, Iraq, and others, the quagmires, the nation building and such. One of the major differences is Venezuela is a country that has been directly attacking us with the cooperation of our worst enemies, China, Russia, and Iran, okay? And they've done incredible damage to this country that was not going to end. It was going to continue. And it won't be a problem anymore, all right, so far as the direct attack on this. So there's going to be a lot of good days and a lot of bad days probably ahead in Venezuela during all this transition. However, we're losing over 300,000 Americans each and every year due to Venezuela and their crimes against us. So we have 10 9/11s every year, according to President Trump. Yeah, I left out Cuba too. So, no, I'm sorry. This had to be done. However disastrous it gets in Venezuela, people will not die or be victimized in this country because of it, in massive numbers, hundreds of thousands, each and every year. So she's not factoring that into her bizarro fence-sitting yellow light position and analysis. And that's just a fact. The southern border issue has been an issue for my entire life. It will no longer be an issue. President Trump is cleaning that up. So in the future, things may not go well in Venezuela each and every day. And they probably won't. There are going to be problems. But I'd rather have problems in Venezuela than problems here with people getting killed on the Florida Turnpike or nursing students being murdered by Venezuelan rapists, right? Wouldn't you rather that or little girls being kidnapped and raped and murdered and left for dead under bridges that's been going on? Which would you rather? Would you rather have a rough transition in Venezuela or all of these Americans alive and not being victimized? Yeah, I'd rather have chaos in Venezuela from time to time during this transition and end all of this garbage that's going on in this country. Now, we're also, if you'd like to call in, you're most certainly welcome. Does anybody know what Megyn Kelly's wearing there? It's a very, very strange outfit. Also, we're getting a lot of information now about the actual operation to get Maduro, and it's absolutely amazing. We beat Russian anti-air defenses that didn't get a single shot off. We got in there with our stealth fighters beating that were not detected on the Chinese radar, and all of our forces, including the helicopters and ground forces, avoided any interaction with the Iranian drones. We're finding out that Venezuela had the most advanced Russian, the most advanced Chinese, and the most advanced Iranian weaponry. And we got in and out without losing any American lives or equipment, and they didn't even get a shot off. So we didn't just defeat Venezuela and remove Maduro and his lunatic wife, but we also militarily overcame the most advanced military technology of Russia, China, and Iran. Isn't that something? It's absolutely amazing. And they knew we were coming because we had the fleet group there. There had been U.S. fighter planes flying in Venezuelan airspace, and we still overcame all of that. They couldn't even get a shot off. They didn't even know we were coming. And there's this idea that there's some type of superpower equality between the United States and China and Russia. That's just not the case. We are 30, maybe even 40 or 50 years technologically ahead of China and Russia and Iran. They're no match for us. And this was a relatively small operation, and they had their most advanced weaponry there, anti-aircraft radar and drones, and we overcame all of them. It was Iranian drones, Chinese radar, and Russian anti-aircraft equipment, weaponry. We beat it all without any of them knowing we were coming or even getting a single shot off. Isn't that something? So this idea that China is a threat to us, this idea that Russia is a threat to us, or Iran, we can wipe them out easily. And I promise you, the leaders in those three countries are freaking out right now because they've seen not just that President Trump has the guts to move in and do what's got to be done, but that our weaponry that we have is so far and above technologically, decades above anything they have, that they might as well be out there with World War I biplanes and flintlocks. They don't have the ability to be any type of threat or challenge to us. Believe me, they're freaked out. And we just haven't seen American military might on display. So there's an added benefit to that. Now, if you're on hold standby, if you'd like to call in, please do. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more and your calls. The number is pinned in the live chat, and we'll be back right after this. If you're watching with the green wall behind me to see and hear all the audio and video, you got to go to my mainstream here on YouTube, and you get all the green screen effects there, guys. All right, and if you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones in a moment. Of course, there's an incredible special going on right now from the next mayor of the great state of Minnesota. Well, it will be great when Mike Lindell's the governor. MyPillow, the winter super sale is in effect. If you go to mypillow.com and use my promo code Kane at checkout, there's huge savings on the towels, the sheets, the pillows, the slippers, everything. And there's a lot of new blankets, duvet covers, and comforters, throw blankets, plush blankets, all kinds of blankets and quilts, which have incredible specials with my promo code Kane at checkout. And of course, you can use my promo code KANE at checkout on all the specials at mypillow.com. All right, let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. Good morning.
Hey.
You know, when I saw your headline that you put on there, Megyn Kelly turns on President Trump.
Again.
I immediately, I immediately went to her podcast and saw that self-hating left-wing friend of hers, Aaron Mate or whatever, the self-hating Jew, who I watched on Piers Morgan every time that says he's anti-Trump, anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian, leftist lion dog who denied that anybody was even one person was raped. That this was what is in that October 7th. One Jew was raped. This is
crazy.
What this guy, and she has this guy spilling his guts. Now I'm going to explain to people that are listening here. Okay, she's a Jane Fonda in disguise. That's number one. Cheerleading is one thing. Talking about it's always fine. Oh, I don't want to send my children to fight. First of all, the difference between Libya and Iraq, they're Muslim countries on the other side of the globe. Okay, we got a Catholic country right off our shore that we let the commies take over back. I told you yesterday with Cuba, and then we let this guy come up from and take over. We had oil companies in Venezuela.
Well, there's another thing too, Richie. And first off, not only do we have the aircraft carrier Fleet Group in the Iwo Jima, we've got a massive aircraft carrier in Puerto Rico where there's Air Force fight, and some of the stealth fighters came from there. But anyway, Marco Rubio was talking about how one of the differences between the Middle Eastern countries and Venezuela is this is a European
Catholic.
This is a European country that we have a lot in common with so far. It's a Western country. So, you know, the Middle East, the Middle East civilization is not compatible with Western values. This is a Western country and a Western people.
We had 80% support, and then the lie with the sanctions. This guy lied with the sanctions. I checked it out. I just Googled it because I wasn't sure. I don't want to make a statement. The sanctions came after they stole the oil, and it was our oil because it was our companies getting it out of the ground.
That's right.
And Venezuela was the most prosperous country in South America. By them going in there and taking over, nationalizing the oil, and they couldn't run it. They didn't know how. They had no expertise.
And you know, Venezuela is believed to have the largest deposits of oil of any country in the world, including more than we have in the United States. Is the claim, and the blow this has been to China. Hold on, Rich, while I answer these calls. The blow this has been to China because they no longer have this source of oil. China does not have they don't have any oil, and they're not in as much trouble as Cuba is right now. But they're gonna have an oil gasoline shortage in China soon because of this, no doubt.
Yeah. But the deal is this. It's so simple. Would people with these leftists, would they be okay with somebody coming into Fort Knox and taking all of our gold and saying we're now nationalizing our gold? You got to fight for something, not for nothing. If you don't stand up for the bully once in a while, and I'm going to tell you right now, this should have never happened years ago. I think Bush was president when Hugo Chavez went in there, or it was either Bush or it was Clinton. I forget which one it was.
It might have been Clinton.
It was Clinton, yeah.
Clinton, I think.
Yeah, once again, we should have never let that happen. It should have been, hey, you just stole all of our American assets.
That's right.
And we did nothing. We did nothing about it. So the bottom line is we finally have a president that's standing up. I don't care about the immigration and the drugs. That's a major factor. But the oil has got me crazy because they took that and they've led every bad actor that hates the United States.
The blood enemies of America are being fueled by Venezuelan oil. And by the way, Venezuela has massive gold deposits that are still in the ground that China has been and Cuba have been stealing.
All it is.
See, Cuba doesn't just need the oil. Cuba has been staying afloat financially, not just because of the oil, but because they've been ripping off whatever money they could get out of Venezuela too. Cuba will collapse very soon.
My wife is Venezuelan. Brian knows this. Do you know that she hasn't been able to? She couldn't even go to her mother's grave because if you're an American citizen, you're not allowed there.
Yeah.
And I mean, not for nothing. He has divided families. The leadership of Venezuela, for her to sit back on her derriere and say, I'm not going to make a commitment. Well, you're on the fence for something that's really ridiculous. Nobody's asking Megyn Kelly to rah-rah for anything.
There's right.
Two things in this world, right and wrong.
That's right.
You can't be in the middle of right and wrong. You're either right or you're wrong, not in the middle. You want to be in the middle, you don't belong.
She's a fence sitter, and this whole thing that she's concerned that her two sons and daughters might have to go and fight in Venezuela. You think her kids are going to join the service? Give me a break.
Let me say something to you. If I had a son, which I don't, I have a daughter, and if I had a son and and we had a draft there and he was going to be sent to Venezuela, I'd say that's a great cause. If anything, it's better than the Vietnam cause.
Heck yeah.
Because this is right on our doorstep, and what they did to us without no response from this mighty, they always talk about the United States having the greatest military. We've been a paper tiger for the last 50 years. So what are we spending all this money on? Not that we have to go to war. We have to defend our honor also. There's a thing called honor. And this guest that she had, this leftist, creepy, self-hating Jew, I'm sorry to say it, he shouldn't have been on.
All right, Richie, I got to move on. The time is short, but we'll talk again. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. Now, I'm going to play this Megyn Kelly clip again because I can't play it on the radio because she uses language I can't use on the radio. So I can only play it here in the pre-show. So I'll play it for you now, then I'll take some more calls before we break. This is Megyn Kelly trashing Trump about the liberation of Venezuela. Now, meanwhile, the drug importation by sea is now down 97%. I can only imagine by land it's down about that too because of shutting down the border. And of course, the land invasion of these army of terrorists from Venezuela, Trinidad and MS-13, that has been stopped. She's not factoring any of that into her bizarro analysis. That means total fin city, not just putting wetting her finger, putting it up in the air and see which way the wind blows. She doesn't know which way the wind's going to blow yet, so she doesn't want to take a position yet. See, here's the thing. The attacks on this country have almost stopped from Venezuela and Latin America because of Trump. And this action is about securing our border permanently. And these other things I talked about as well with the drug cartels and such. Okay? And there is going to be chaos. This isn't going to be just perfectly smooth in Venezuela, but I would rather have problems there and have this country safe, which it now is. And it's getting safer every day, every time they pick somebody up in a deportation raid. Okay, so is she suggesting that her 2 sons and daughters are going to join the military? We have this is not Vietnam where there was a draft. We have a 100% volunteer military. Okay, Megyn Kelly, sitting on the fence. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Bo from Huntersville, Alabama.
All right, Bo in Alabama. What's on your mind?
So this whole Megyn Kelly deal that they got going on here, I'm trying. I've been a long time viewer. I'm trying my best to understand the problems going on with her reactions.
I don't understand your question. You're not being clear with what you're asking.
Yes, sir. I'm asking what's her deal with her reactions towards what Trump's doing.
Well, my deal is this. Okay, Megyn Kelly runs
Yes,
around in her Trinity from the Matrix outfit here that she's wearing, and she. And
I agree.
Hold on. You asked a question that you want to answer to, and I'm giving you the answer. She parades herself around as some type of advocate for women and all of that and everything else. President Trump, President Trump, by taking out Maduro, shutting down the southern border, taking on the drug cartels, liberating Venezuela, is stopping the victimization of women in this country, like Lincoln Riley, that was going on for years with no one doing anything about it. And that's just one example of what this will do. We have been under constant attack, including a massive land invasion from Venezuela for years, losing, according to the president, 300,000 Americans a year because of this. So we've had 10 9/11s every year for how many years? She's not factoring any of this into her analysis. She's out of her mind. President Trump has saved so many American lives with this action, and she's not factoring any of that in her fence-sitting yellow light position. That's my problem with her.
Right. I'm a little confused. What do you mean by multiple 9/11s a year? Are you talking about drugs?
If President Trump says 300,000 Americans die each year because of the drug cartels alone, just the drug cartels. That's not the other crimes that these illegals are committing. On 9/11, 3,000 Americans died, okay? So if 300,000, excuse me, I'm answering your question. You said, what do you mean by 10 9/11s? On 9/11, 3,000 Americans died. If 300,000 are being killed each year by the cartels, that means we have the equivalent of 10 9/11s every year in this country just from the cartel activity. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
All right, on that, take care. Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike.
You know, I don't think she was ever a friend of President Trump. And that stems back from what happened in 2016 when Trump basically made her a punchline.
Yeah.
All right. With the whole Rosie O'Donnell question. And these people in the media, no matter what media they are in, have huge egos. And that was damaging to her ego at the time, and she'd never really gotten over that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, she thought she had that good thing. You had called women, Only Rosie O'Donnell, and everyone was laughing at her, and she's never gotten over that. Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's all about her ego. This whole thing is all about her ego.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I agree.
You know,
and
so,
I really, I don't think,
that,
I really don't. Hey, who am I to approve or disapprove? But enough of these never Trumpers being paraded around on this turning point stages. Tucker Carlson, her, what are they doing being the marquee names at these turning point events when they're out there trashing Trump all the time, like she's doing here?
Yeah, and you throw in Ben Shapiro as well,
Exactly.
And that's the thing. Yeah, conservative this and conservative that. They may say they're conservative, and they may very well be conservative, but they're all three of them never Trumpers.
Correct. All right, Mike in Louisiana, take care. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll get back to the phones when the radio show starts in a couple minutes. I want to thank you guys in the audience. I had asked the other day on one of the streams the other day, if you could do this, this is a great help you're giving me. I asked you guys to join my marketing team and to be a part of my marketing team to help spread the word about this program. If you could take the link to my program and share it on your social media. And I just asked that on one of the live streams over the weekend, and about 1,000 of you watching that did exactly that. I get a notification of all this kind of data from YouTube, and it was just about 1,000, a little less than 1,000 of you actually took the link to this program and shared it on your social media the other day, and I want to thank you all for that. And if you could continue to do that and invite your friends and followers on your socials to check this program out and hopefully subscribe and watch the program, that'd be greatly appreciated. And I want to thank all of you for doing that. Yeah, we got time. I'll take one more call before the radio show begins. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, sorry, Brian. This is I think we had a bad connection.
No, I hung up on you. I moved on. I moved on.
We had a bad connection.
No, we had a great connection.
There was a delay.
No, there's no delay, but it's one call per day. You had your call. You can call in on the next show. All right, take care. All right, the rest of you on hold, you hang in there, and we'll be on the air in about 90 seconds. And of course, I'll recap some things, bring up some new things, and then go back to the phones. You're welcome to call in about Megyn Kelly throughout the program as well. Jake Tapper just got humiliated by Stephen Miller, and I'm going to start with that after the top of the hour. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free. It's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. And if you're watching on the live stream with the green wall behind me, if you want to see and hear all the audio and video that I play and get the full green screen effect, go to my main live stream here on YouTube, and you can see and hear all that. We got a little more than 30 seconds, and then we'll be live. Okay. About 20 seconds, guys. Stand by. Welcome to the program, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Oh, man, so much has happened. We've got a lot to cover, major updates out of Venezuela, major updates out of Minnesota, major updates on just everything going on in the news. I'm going to cover a lot. Of course, some very exciting news that Pete Hegseth will be demoting Mark Kelly from captain, and we'll cover that and talk more about that as well as the show goes on. But did any of you see Stephen Miller on CNN with Jake Tapper yesterday? Oh, this was amazing. You know, Jake Tapper, before he went to CNN, he was he covered the Obama campaign. He was with ABC News, and he was the ABC News correspondent covering Senator Barack Obama's presidential campaign. And he was all right back then. He was the only person on the campaign trail that asked any tough questions of Barack Obama or his spokespeople when he ran for president in 2008. And it was the same question every time. Do any of you remember what was the question that Jake Tapper, he was the ABC News correspondent for Senator Barack Obama's presidential campaign in 2008. He asked the same question every time. Any of you remember what it was? If he was talking to one of Obama's spokespeople, it would be this: when is the last time the senator smoked a cigarette? And if Senator Obama was there at the press conference, he would ask him, Senator, when's the last time you smoked a cigarette? And it sounds like such a petty question, I know, to many of you, but he was hiding the fact that he's a chain smoker. Barack Obama is a chain smoker. And he was hiding that because he wanted to look clean and pure and perfect, as this heroic figure, coming down from somewhere. We never heard of him before. And I thought he was all right then, because that was, and believe me, Obama didn't like that question. And I remember Obama it was never, not for a long time, it was always a couple days ago or earlier today. It was always recent. And Robert Gibbs was Senator Obama's spokesperson for the campaign in 2008. And his answer typically was, I'll have to ask the senator. I don't keep track of such things. But he would ask Obama about it. And as mild of a question as that may seem, it really bugged the daylights out of Obama and his team in 2008. And I thought, this guy, Jake Tapper, is all right. He's asking it was the same question every time, but it was a question they didn't like. And I thought, so then he goes to CNN, and he's just a complete creep. And I'll tell you, his staff are nasty as heck, too. When I almost got arrested with Laura Loomer at that town hall on CNN on that was here after the Parkland shooting, it was Jake Tapper's senior producers and staff that tried to get Laura Loomer arrested and me arrested at that event. We didn't do anything. We were just there. I live here, and it was my community, and the only reason we didn't get arrested is because the police officer that they tried to arrest us is a listener of mine here and knew me. It was unbelievable. His staff, they were some nasty. I was in shock at how nasty Jake Tapper's people were at that event. But anyway, Stephen Miller was on with Tapper last night, of course, talking about Venezuela. Let's go through this. This was good stuff. Yeah, Jake Tapper and these liberal, snooty people in New York and in Washington, they want that Nobel Prize winner just to be appointed the leader of Venezuela by Trump because she won the Nobel Peace Prize. That's right. That's correct. The oil to Cuba, the oil to China, the gold that China and Cuba have been stealing. And of course, the attacks through the cartels and the people and these violent gangs that Venezuela had been sending to the United States to disrupt our nation and kill our people. A sovereign country. So now Jake Tapper is declaring Maduro an unelected dictator, a sovereign leader. See how, Jake Tapper, he can't compute. Let me rewind this. See here is Stephen Miller spelling out exactly the Monroe Doctrine, the Trump plan, the Trump Doctrine, and he's just trying to discount what he's saying because he just can't compute and counter what he's saying, Stephen Miller. So he's trying to discount him. I don't understand, as if Stephen Miller, who's one of the greatest speakers this country's ever had. Anytime Stephen Miller is on television speaking, I stop whatever I'm doing and listen. Don't you? He's brilliant. And Jake Tapper knows he can't duel with Stephen Miller, so he's trying to discount him by accusing him of speaking gibberish, which of course he's not. Yeah. Everybody else does, Jake. Oh, I love it. Mm-hmm. I love it. Don't you? I love that answer. Don't you love Stephen Miller's answer? I love his wife is very good too. She cleans people's clocks on CNN as well. That's right. No apologies. That's right. Okay, and Jake Tapper just could not handle any of that. And you notice this new narrative, and I've heard it with some of the callers here, and you're seeing it on television. All of a sudden, there aren't any drugs coming from Venezuela. Those drugs go to Europe, as if it's okay to do that. So they just gaslight us in real time. Do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? Call Lighthouse Medical. Lighthouse Medical can rid you of your neuropathy like they've done with Steve Kane and so many of our listeners. Their neuropathy, by the way, they can help you no matter where you're located in the world. They can see you via Zoom or telemedicine over the phone or in person if you're here in South Florida. Steve Kane had the worst neuropathy you can imagine. After just one treatment, he saw immediate relief from his symptoms. They rid him of his neuropathy suffering. 3.5 years later, excuse me guys, I'm still getting over the cold a little bit. 3.5 years later, Steve Kane doesn't have any of these neuropathy symptoms. They have rid of him of his neuropathy suffering. They have a treatment that works for neuropathy, and it lasts. Give them a call and schedule your no-charge consultation. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. Callers on hold, stand by. We'll be right back. All right, we'll be back in just over a minute. So if you're on hold, stand by. I'll go to the phones when we get back. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, and it's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. And remember, if you're watching with the green wall behind me, if you go to my main live stream here on YouTube, you can see and hear all the audio and video that I play. All right, stand by, guys. We got about 30 seconds and we'll be back. Oh, man. These liberals just don't get it, do they? The cold weather is just, it's dry. It's affecting my throat. All right, coming back. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. You got to turn the volume down of whatever you're listening to me on in the background. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Raphael. I'm just watching your show, and I come from Oregon.
All right. You're watching. What's on your mind?
What's on my mind is I was I'm assuming that you're conservative as well.
Yes.
Okay, and you, as in your title, I'm assuming that you've been following the Minnesota fraudulent,
Yes.
Stuff. Well, I come from Oregon, and it's a more of a liberal state and more accepting of, more people. I'm just really scared of, not really scared, just like more concerned. Minnesota is more of a conservative state.
No, it's not.
In my opinion, than Oregon.
Well, then your opinion is
And I just
based
wanted
on
your opinion.
your opinion is based on ignorance. It's Minnesota has been a liberal state forever, as long as I can remember. Walter Mondale is from Minnesota. You familiar with Walter Mondale? You know who he was?
No, not
Okay.
really.
He was vice president of the United States when Jimmy Carter was president. Paul Wellstone.
Yeah,
Al Franken. Are you familiar with Al
I
Franken?
watch a lot of different YouTubers that are conservative that come from Minnesota, so I just assume.
No, your opinions are based on. How old are you?
I'm 30.
30, and you've never heard of Walter Mondale? Oh my goodness! Did you graduate high school?
Yes.
And you never learned about Walter Mondale? What are they teaching you in school?
Not much actually here in Oregon.
Obviously, yeah. I've met people from Oregon. I would imagine they would know who Walter Mondale was. Oh my goodness! Are you familiar with Jimmy Carter?
I've heard of his name.
You've heard of his name? Are you pulling my leg?
Yeah.
You don't know who he was? Oh my God! All right, hey, thanks for the call. Oh my goodness. Innocence is bliss, I guess. I don't know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, man. What you up to?
Oh, not much. Just hanging.
Hey, so what are your thoughts on Venezuela?
That's a little vague. You've got to be more specific.
On the capture of Maduro.
Oh, I think that's awesome.
Got you.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm just wondering why why Cinnamon Toast Satan has gone ahead and trying to distract the American people from
the Epstein files.
The Epstein files.
Yeah, the Epstein files. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and what really makes me chuckle is that MAGA likes to go ahead and dismiss anything that's actually going on, likes to justify basically anything, and they don't like to actually criticize themselves or anything that's going on with the current presidency.
Well, there's nothing going on with the current president that we should be criticizing.
Well, what about the fact that you guys are all in a cult and you guys are all Nazis?
We're Nazis? This is interesting because my understanding of Nazis, a prerequisite to be a Nazi is that you have to hate Jews, correct? And right? Isn't that like the most thing that Nazis are most famous for? Hating Jews?
Well, so if you actually study Nazism, it's
if you actually study no, what they're most famous for is their hatred of Jews, correct? The Holocaust and all of that, Nazis. Isn't that what they're most known for?
Well, and see, that's where you're just failing to meet the ball there. It's fascism that kind of
no. When you talk about Nazis, when people talk
don't
about
get pressed. It's okay, buddy. You don't have to have a tantrum. You don't have to get upset.
When people talk Nazis, they think about the Holocaust, their hatred of Jews, correct?
Okay.
Yes. So if Donald Trump is a Nazi who's leading a Nazi movement, explain to me why his daughter is married to a Jew, converted to Judaism. His son, Jared Kushner, one of his closest advisors, is a Jew. Many of his grandchildren are Jews. One of his best friends is the leader of the Jewish people in Israel, Netanyahu, and he's so closely allied with the Jews. Why would a Nazi have Jews in the family like this?
This is going to break your brain if you really
Nothing
believe all
you
that.
say is going to break my brain, I promise
you.
Yeah.
Netanyahu is a Nazi.
Oh, yeah, a Jewish Nazi. All right, appreciate the call. Oh, my goodness. I just talked to Dumb, and the caller before him was dumber. Or was the first one dumb and that one dumber? I don't know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Vince in Wellington.
Hey, Vince. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. Had a good New Year. Hope you did too.
Absolutely.
It's been a good little roller coaster ever since all this Somali fraud and all this other stuff with these Democrats. I can't believe these seminar callers today, though. That is
Yes.
just off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe they are brain dead, but maybe not. But I mean, the whiplash that we're seeing from these people and their rants about Maduro and the Somali fraud and everything else, and Nick Shirley, it's all because they have no narrative left.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing left of the Democrat. There's nothing left of the Democrat Party except to go further left.
Yes.
And as they go further left, they become more unhinged.
Mm-hmm.
Over time, they get more violent. If they get more violent, that's why you see this tranny go and attack J.D. Vance's house and break his windows out because they have nothing left. They don't like themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like who they've become, but they also absolutely have Trump derangement syndrome and think that MAGA is a cult. As far as MAGA goes, we've made mistakes, and we realized our mistakes, that we could fall in line.
Yeah, but
with
they're
some
few and
Fed
far
operation.
between. I mean, Mike Pence was a mistake.
Right. And they try to claim that we're all a cult, but did they not just notice that we all were infighting over everything to do with Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens and all this craziness?
Exactly.
And, I mean, they try to hold us to some kind of flame, but the reality is that they're unhinged and they have no direction. So what it's doing is that their party is going to collapse eventually.
It already pretty much has.
Don't realize
it is. It's barely hanging in there. It's on life support.
Right, and I guess they forgot that in 2018 there was actual reporters trying to go around and find people on the road that would admit to being Democrats, and they had a harder time doing that than getting somebody to say they were Republican.
That's
and
correct.
The reality is that as you go across the breadth of this nation, it's gotten more conservative and more religious. Regardless of which religions, it's more religious.
Mm-hmm.
So as that happens, these unhinged leftists that believe in nothing and have no culture and have no values, they're going to lose their entire.
That's right. Well, listen, Vince, I gotta run for the bottom of the hour break, but I agree with everything you said. Thanks for the call. All right, take care. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break and be right back. All right, we're still in radio break. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to take the calls when we get back. One of my favorite stories yesterday is that Mark Kelly is going to be demoted, called to active duty, and court-martialed, and he released this lunatic message. Look at this. Oh. Mm. Wow. So because he is a veteran, he's allowed to go out and try to cause a military coup and uprising against the commander-in-chief? That's amazing. Do veterans have this right to go out and do crime? I was not familiar with that. My goodness, this guy's out of his mind. We're going to be back in 10 seconds. 888-465-2631 is the toll-free number. Crazy town. Completely insane person. Welcome back, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Come on, Big Jim.
Yeah, Jim. What's on your mind?
How you doing, Mr. Brian?
All right.
What's on my mind? I'm just sitting there thinking about, the Bushes are big, on the oil people, and I wonder how this affects the Bushes with Trump doing what he's done.
It has nothing to do with the Bushes. President Trump already has American oil companies ready to return to Venezuela to take back what was stolen from them. By the way, you call yourself Big Jim. Do you call yourself that, or do others call you Big Jim?
Everybody calls me Big Jim.
Okay, all right. Is there a little Jim?
I'm a big boy. Do what?
Is there a little Jim?
No.
All right, just a
No
Big
children.
Jim. All right, okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Dr. Ken from Jupiter.
Hey, Dr. Ken, what's up?
I wanted to make a comment on the Jake Tapper interview with Stephen Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And my opinion is that it can be generalized to the interview Margaret Brennan gave Marco Rubio. You're familiar with that yesterday?
Yeah, I played some of that yesterday. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought you made reference to it. Stephen Miller is one of the smartest men in the government. Not that far below Trump, which is quite a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets asked a question, he hears it. Jake Tapper's not stupid, but he's not astute enough, as Margaret Brennan is not, to see past the question and look at the answer.
Mm-hmm.
The answer was pertinent, the question was not, and that's why he made himself look foolish when he kept persisting on answering the question.
Well, the way I read Jake Tapper is he's afraid to challenge Stephen Miller because Stephen Miller's so good. So he was condescending to him, tried to discount him, and then ended the segment because he couldn't go up against him. That's why he was getting all with the funny faces and everything. It was condescension.
He should know better because that's not going to work against Stephen Miller. Not even close.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't think.
He could wipe the floor with anyone, Stephen Miller. He's very, very good.
Absolutely.
And have you ever seen his wife
Yes,
on these panels? His wife is almost as good as him. I've seen her fillet some of these liberals.
I've heard about it.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I've seen her fillet some of these people on CNN. She's very good. Do you know where Stephen Miller and his wife are forced to live?
Where?
On a military base for their safety. because the liberals are threatening him
Really?
so much. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And why are they threatening him and not other people in the government?
Well, there's others. There's several members of the administration that are living on military bases, including Kristi Noem. Yeah. These liberals, they're out of control. They're
okay,
out of
I
control.
get it.
Didn't you see another Democrat attack
Completely.
J.D. Vance's house early yesterday morning in Ohio?
Oh, young kid. Yeah, I saw that.
Not a young kid, a transgendered person whose parents donated over $10,000 to Kamala Harris's presidential campaign. Not just some kid doing vandalism. This was a transgendered young man who's from a Democrat family.
How old is he?
18.
So I think the parents are going to have to have hell to pay for that too, don't you think?
At 18, you're on your own, aren't you? I don't know, but it's.
Yeah, you are, but I don't know. The influence, can't help but think the law wouldn't have something to say about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out what happens with the Secret Service. All right, I appreciate the call. You made some good points.
Thank you very much, Brian.
All right, take care. We had a lot of good news yesterday. So much happened yesterday. On a Monday, after all these holidays, we've had all this incredible news and so much dropped yesterday. But one of the big stories yesterday was Mark Kelly. It came out from the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, that Mark Kelly is going to be demoted in rank. What rank, we don't know. I hope it's to ensign, the lowest enlisted rank. That'd be nice. And he's going to be recalled to active duty and court-martialed. And this is an interesting thing because now maybe I'm wrong about this, but my understanding is that you cannot be active duty military and be in the Congress. You can be in the National Guard, you can be in the Reserve, but you can't hold two federal positions at once. So I don't know if there's a conflict there, if he's going to be recalled to the regular Navy or Reserve. I don't know, but there's an issue there. And the demotion, there's also, I'd like to know, is the demotion going to happen before the court-martial? And the lower the rank, the better for Mark Kelly. And the lower the rank, the better, not just because that's the humiliation factor. I mean, he deserves it. He took part in a CIA effort to cause a military coup against the commander-in-chief of the United States. But the way that court-martials work, you get a jury trial and you have a judge, and rank plays into the jury. So if he's demoted one rank to commander, that means he'll have jury members that are commanders and captains. If he's demoted to ensign or lieutenant, JG or something, there's a good chance he'll have a jury made up of people of those lower ranks. And this is important for a couple of reasons, and I'll tell you why. One, when you get up to the higher ranks, there's a lot of politics, and these are people that came up through the ranks during Obama and Biden. When you get to the lower officer ranks, you're going to have some of the Pete Hegseth generation there. Do you understand what I mean? The higher the rank, the more politically involved they are. So these commanders and captains and above, they are people that are pretty pissed off that they have to take the physical fitness test and that they have to lose weight and that DEI is ended. If you get to the lower ranks, you're going to find more realistic viewpoints on things. And so the lower the rank, I'm not an expert on these military things. I mean, I used to watch JAG, but other than that, I'm not an expert in the military. I saw A Few Good Men a couple times. But I do believe the jury makeup is based on rank, right? Like if you're enlisted, you have an enlisted jury of your peers. It kind of works that way, doesn't it? And Mark Kelly lost his mind. He put out a video in response to everything. This is it. Listen. Okay, and I want to stop there. So, nothing against veterans, because I do certainly respect our veterans and our service personnel. But Mark Kelly believes that this guy is so arrogant. Mark Kelly believes that he is a true American citizen above others because he was in the service. I mean, this is right out of Starship Troopers, where you had to be a veteran to be a citizen. He thinks he's a true American, and those who have not been in the military are not true Americans. Does that apply to President Clinton, President Obama, and Biden, Mark Kelly? Oh, thank you. Okay, so to have freedom of speech, Mark Kelly, former captain Mark Kelly, that's what Pete Hegseth called him yesterday. Former Captain Mark Kelly here believes you only have freedom of speech if you've been in the military. That those who have not served in the military don't have the First Amendment right. And he also seems to imply that veterans have a right to do crime. He was part of a deep state operation to attempt to inspire a military coup against the Commander-in-Chief of the United States. You know, everyone's law-abiding until they're not. And no matter what you did, I mean, my goodness, you know, if you were a choir boy, once you go out and try to cause an insurrection, it doesn't matter that you've been a choir boy for 30 years, 40 years, or 120 years. Once you do the crime, you're now done a crime and you're a criminal. Okay? That's the way it is. So I don't know what this guy, you know, this guy's so full of himself. And I'll tell you another thing too. The reason he served in the military was for political purposes. So he had that veteran status. You know, a lot of Democrats have done that, trying to follow in the path of President Kennedy. This guy is a bad dude. There's no getting around it. He is a very bad guy. And I'll tell you what, Mark Kelly is planning on running for president. So my question to you guys is this court-martial and this demotion that he's facing, will that help his run for the presidency or not? But he definitely views himself as the nominee for the Democrats in 2028. No doubt in my mind. So do you think that the court-martial and the demotion help him? You're welcome to call in about anything we brought up so far. I've got so much to cover. I've only just scratched the surface. Our number is toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. I want to talk about Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing. You know, Tom Laporta works with every type of structure and every type of roofing material. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida and everywhere in between. He's a good MAGA guy who will not sell you a roof you do not need, which means if you need just a simple repair, he'll do it. I've talked to so many of our listeners over the years, just shocked and amazed that they thought they needed new roofs. In some instances, even other roofers told them they needed a new roof. Tom Laporta came out and said, no, you just need a simple repair. It's absolutely amazing. He can also handle a job of any size, whether it's a small single-family home, one office building, one apartment building, or an HOA with over 450 units. He can handle it all. And he's also a general contractor, not just a roofer, which means under Florida law, Tom Laporta can deal directly with your insurance company on the cost of the replacement or the repair of your roof. Give him a call. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta's cell phone. You can also text 954-604-4602, 954-604-4602, and online, laportaroofing.com. We'll be right back. If you're on hold, stand by, guys. cue a couple things up here. Okay, we'll be back shortly, guys. Let's see. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. All right, just over a minute and we'll be back. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll go to the phones, we'll get back. A little more than 30 seconds. Oh, man. We're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is Gabriela. I'm calling from Fort Lauderdale.
All right.
Thank you for answering my phone call.
Well, thanks for calling.
So let me tell you something. This person using this type of speech is just trying to be like pretend show himself like a sorry person, feel sorry for me, come vote for me, come. They're using this dialogue so ridiculous. I ashamed of this type of people. They using America and their privilege to attract people the wrong way. And I just wanted to say, me as a Venezuela, I respect this country. I love this country. You have the most beautiful country that brings opportunity to all people. And
yeah, that's right. Hold on, I got to answer these lines coming in. So absolutely. No, you're absolutely correct. Yes. You know, I got to tell you, this liberation of Venezuela that's going on. And I'm seeing all these Venezuelans interviewed all over the United States, and they're all talking about, so many of them, going back to Venezuela. I've never heard a group of people, when something like this happens, ever talk about going back to their country.
Listen, we love so much our country. We lost our country because of these people trying to divide us. At the beginning, they tried to divide us between rich and poor. For being rich is wrong. I will be worried. Watch out for Manzoni in New York. I will be worried for the community, the Muslims. I have nothing against the Muslim religion, but the extreme Muslims taking the street and saying this, we will take over and city law.
Well, listen. I just want to say, well, thank you for your call. You make a lot of great points. Call again sometime.
Yeah, and also this guy in Chicago, in Minnesota, please. Now he's gonna work. He has to drop for
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, have a great day. Thanks. I agree with everything you said. Call again sometime. Good caller. You know, I've seen so many Venezuelan people talking the last few days that we have a lot in common, don't we? We share a worldview with the Venezuelan people. They're a lot like us in the way they think. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Adam from New York.
Hey, what's up, New York?
Hey, I don't know why this is a complete shock about Maduro. He was wanted by our own DEA back in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
He had a $15 million for his arrest.
Yes.
So I don't know why this is a complete shock. And second of all, back in 2020, about 2 weeks after Biden took over, they sent John Kerry over there to meet Maduro and I believe the Colombian president there.
Mm-hmm.
And John Kerry should be investigated.
Oh, to find out what happened there? Yeah, that's not a bad, yeah.
You
yeah,
can
what was
Google
he doing down there?
search it, Brian.
Yeah.
They were hugging one another. John Kerry. Here's
well,
a guy that's
John
supposed to be
Kerry likes to hug bad people. Remember all the sucking up he did to the Iranians?
Yeah.
He's a bad guy, John Kerry. Very bad man.
But that's all I want to call you about.
All right, you got some
Thank
good points. Good points. Okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, Brian. This is John from Wisconsin.
Hey, John.
I'm referring to the military service thing. Benedict Arnold also served in the military. That was never brought up.
Yeah, so did John Wilkes Booth. May not have been in the military, but I'll tell you, a presidential assassin who was Lee Harvey Oswald was a Marine. So I guess Lee Harvey Oswald, he had a right to speak. I mean, what is he talking about?
Exactly. And if I remember correctly, President Trump's first tour of duty was from 17 to 21. He is the commander-in-chief.
Yes.
So that makes him
well,
part of the military.
a thing about Vietnam, okay? Bone spurs aside, and he had you can't. Yeah, my father still has problem with his feet today from Vietnam. Okay, you had to have perfect feet to go to Vietnam, jungle rot and everything else. It's pretty. But forgetting about that, okay, liberals had told us that the highest form of honor was to dodge the Vietnam draft. They were,
true.
And now they look back and they're saying not getting drafted is dishonorable. Which one is it?
Yeah, exactly. And there's no mention of Obama's grandfather being in the military. Imagine that.
Yeah.
So, they have their own way of. Today it's this, tomorrow it's that.
Well, with Mark Kelly though, he's in love with himself, and he thinks he is a special person because he was a naval officer, a pilot, and an astronaut, and all this stuff. And he was really just a political animal his whole life, and used the service to advance himself. He didn't serve to serve this country. He was serving himself.
Correct.
And by the way, I don't know his whole military history, but between him and Kelly, President Trump was shot, right? He was shot.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Was Mark Kelly wounded? I don't know.
And it's more dangerous being the president than. And, that's I'm not saying it's more dangerous than being on the front line. I don't want to say that. But it is very dangerous what President Trump does.
Listen.
He's unarmed.
Listen, President Trump is one of the bravest men alive. Who could get shot on that stage in Butler and then go back to that very spot in that very stage and do it again in Butler? He didn't run.
You got it.
He stood up and said, "Fight, fight, fight." He didn't run. He didn't let them throw him in a car like they did Reagan. They didn't speed off like they did with President. He stood there and said, "Fight." He got up, faced the camera at the podium. That's some bravery. He wasn't flying away at Mach 2 like in some naval fighter jet like Kelly, coming in fast, leaving fast, and before they even know you're there. And then he went back to that same spot. I mean, anybody else would have PTSD and not be able to do it.
You are 100% right.
All right. Appreciate the call. Good points. Take
All right.
care. Take care. You're on the air. Oh, hold on. Let me answer these phones. Phones are ringing here. Let's go. Hold on. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the Smoky Mountains, Tennessee, Brian.
All right. From the Smokies. What's up?
I would like to make a comparison between Butler, a few little common denominators, and what happened at Mar-a-Lago. What I noticed is a lot of the evidence was gotten rid of in Butler. And then having lived in South Florida for a long time, and a car 8 blocks away from the police station that is there for 12 hours, and there's no orange tag on it.
Okay.
Because you can't leave a car on the side of the road in South Florida without it being orange tagged. And you're saying in 12 hours, 8 blocks from the police station, nobody noticed, nobody put a tag on it. And then we had the head of the Secret Service that was from West Palm.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought. The common denominator there.
Yeah, okay. Well, I appreciate the information. I'll check that out. Thanks so much. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Richard from Pompano.
Hey, Richard.
Okay, I just have a question. When President Trump took office, didn't he have to give up running his Trump Industries or whatever,
Nope.
Trump Corporation?
Nope.
Okay, or something to that effect?
Nope.
Okay, well, what I'm thinking about, because I'm so happy this idiot in Minnesota is finally on the way out, I was wondering if Mike Lindell would not be doing those commercials he does. Would he be prevented from doing something?
They might use equal time where Mike Lindell could not appear in commercials. Yeah, but I can appear in My Pillow commercials for him. But
No,
and I do.
you're
Yeah.
great.
But no, you're right. No, Mike Lindell would probably not be allowed to do My Pillow commercials in Minnesota. They probably would not be able to air them because of equal time. That is. Remember when Reagan ran for president? They couldn't show the Reagan movies. That aren't really that good. Hellcats for the Navy, Bedtime for Bonzo. Nobody wants to watch those anyway, but they didn't air them on television when he was running for president. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So who is being targeted to run for governor in Minnesota?
They're talking about Amy Klobuchar leaving the Senate and running for governor. Major demotion. I don't think that. I can't imagine her doing that. All right, appreciate the call. Well, since we're talking about Mike Lindell, no, the caller's right. Mike Lindell would not be able to do. They would not be able to air televised commercials with him in Minnesota, probably, no doubt about it. But the winter super sale is going on right now. The next governor of Minnesota, God willing, Mike Lindell, with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, just has incredible deals. People ask me, like, what's your favorite My Pillow product? Well, of course, the pillow, but my second favorite are the My Pillow towels. The My Pillow towels are towels that actually absorb the water off of your body. You've never used a proper towel until you've dried off with a My Pillow towel. And they're less than $50 right now at mypillow.com with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE. You can use our promo code KANE, KANE at checkout for all the specials at mypillow.com. So go to mypillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, for huge savings site-wide. All right, we'll take our break for the top of the hour. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is 888-465-2631. We'll be back right after this. All right, when we get back, I'm going to share this Tim Walz stuff. Okay. We've got about 30 seconds, guys. All right, the 7 o'clock hour has begun. My name is Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We've just had some great victories, right? We liberated Venezuela, right? We've stopped the drugs coming in by almost 100% from Venezuela. Mark Kelly is going to be demoted in the Navy. Tim Walz resigned. I mean, this is just a couple days of some hardcore winning. All right, to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name's JoJo from Delray.
JoJo and Delray, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just have a question. Why don't you ever talk negatively or at all about Lois Frankel? Lois Frankel is the worst representative I've ever been associated with. She votes everything Democratic. She doesn't care about the Jewish people. We have so many Jewish people in Palm Beach County, and she still goes negative. Every single time there's something that comes up with regards to Washington, D.C., let's see, free education, in-state tuition, driver's licenses, she votes for it, but unfortunately, I never hear you say anything negative or at all about her.
Before I answer the question, why do you think we never talk about Lois Frankel, who I'm very familiar with? She used to be the mayor of West Palm, right? So I know her history. Why do you think I don't talk about her? Then I'll tell you why. But why do you think?
No, I have no idea.
You must have some. You must have some. You must have some idea. Why? You're taking issue that we don't talk about Lois Frankel.
Yeah.
But you don't have any suspicions as to why?
No, honestly, I have no idea. Including, she actually a few months ago did a town hall, an online town hall, and her guest speaker was Jasmine Crockett.
Oh yeah,
like,
the congresswoman without a congressional district. Well, I'll tell you why we don't talk about Lois Frankel. Okay, there's a couple of reasons. First reason is, although she is a member of the Congress, she's not one of the big power players that you hear about all the time in the news outside of local. So she's a local person. So one of the reasons is we don't talk too much about local politicians. I know she's in the Congress, but she's not one of the big players that's at the table. So we don't talk about local politics at all, because if you talk about local politics like Lois Frankel, unless she was involved in something, national news scandal-wise, the only people that would care about Lois Frankel are the people that live in her congressional district. It's the same reason we haven't talked about the liberal mayor of Palm Beach that was trying to stop the Secret Service from shutting down the road in front of Mar-a-Lago and Palm Beach and all this stuff. People don't care about local politicians unless they live in that local area. That's the main reason. But a secondary reason is Lois Frankel, she's in such a safe district, she could have, there's nothing she could do and she would not get reelected. Right? So it's really a lot of wasted breath. She's in such a safe district that you couldn't move the needle on her at all.
I just can't believe that the citizens of Palm Beach County can't see through this.
Because you're talking about Democrats. Democrats are stupid. Jasmine Crockett said this week, she put a video online, and I can't play it because of the language. She said F the Supreme Court. She said the full F word, Jasmine Crockett. I mean, she's a class act. But it doesn't matter what Lois Frankel does, she'll be elected each and every time. She's in probably one of the safest districts of any member of Congress in the United States. She's Pelosi safe. Like Pelosi could run forever.
Okay.
And it's just it's a waste of breath or time. Unless she gets involved in some particular scandal, then we would talk about it. But we don't. There's a lot of members of Congress in South Florida. We don't talk about any of them. There'll be an occasional reference we'll make to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. We just don't talk about local politicians because the only people that care about the local politicians are the people that live in that local area. Even inside the county of Palm Beach, very few people would be interested in Lois Frankel.
Okay. Well, I appreciate the call.
Yeah, I mean, that's why. But I would tell you, like, if there was a chance of beating her and there was a candidate that had a real chance, I'd love to have them on the show. Like Debbie Wasserman Schultz has an opponent who they've changed her district a little bit. So her district could actually be in play. And the guy that's running against her now is a billionaire. So he has unlimited financial resources. And that's a guy that I would talk to because he's a viable candidate against Debbie Wasserman Schultz. But Lois Frankel, a waste of breath.
Got it.
All right, take care.
All right.
Appreciate the call.
Thanks,
Welcome
Brian.
to the show. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Hey, Doug.
You know, I'm thinking Megyn Kelly is malnutrition or something, if her brain's not working right. You know, yellow light. She must not realize, I guess, that most of her listeners are MAGA, and we're all green light. And everybody I know that thinks that what President Trump did in Venezuela is the best thing ever. You know, and yet she's yellow light. So another Candace Owens in the making, I think, here, man. She's going down.
Well,
and,
she's trying. You know, the problem with Megyn Kelly, and by the way, if you see her you think she looks skinny on television or online, you should see her in person. You know, the internet, television, adds weight to you. Yeah, adds weight to you. And
matter of fact,
you would not believe how skinny she is in person. I was in shock.
Wow. Exactly. I saw on TV one day, says, that's Megyn Kelly. Wow, look how skinny she is.
But what Megyn Kelly, you know, what Megyn Kelly is trying to do, she believes, you know, she's made some mistakes. She's done very well in her independent operation, but she's begun expanding. She's trying to create a podcast network. She has a couple people already in her podcast network. And what she does is it's called clout chasing. She's trying to bring new demos into her program by doing things. So she believes, like she was trying to grab onto Candace Owens listeners. That's why she was so sympathetic to Candace Owens a few weeks ago. She's always clout chasing. Yeah. So she's trying to capture these never Trumper Republicans to come and watch her program.
But she's turning off the real MAGA people.
Well, she shouldn't. I don't believe she should be on the stage at Turning Point. You know, they have too many of these never Trumpers on the Turning Point stages. She's one of them. Yeah. And you know, and this fence sitting. Hey, listen. I tell you what my opinion is. Now, it may turn out that it doesn't happen the way I want it to happen. I may be wrong from time to time. That's okay. I'm still going to tell you how I think it should be. She's taking this fence-sitting position because she doesn't want to take the risk of being wrong as well, you know.
Well, my opinion is she made a big mistake. She should be a MAGA, and certainly what's wrong with what we did in Venezuela? Fantastic. You know, I mean, you got these idiots, that another idiot from California wants to impeach him. It seems like anybody in California running in politics is insane. So, and now she's almost turning on us. So I'm done with her.
Yeah, she is. She is. She's not one of us. She's not MAGA.
Not one of us, for sure.
All right, appreciate the call, Doug. Take care. You know, I'm going to play after the break. I'll share with you the clip of Megyn Kelly. I played it in the pre-show before the radio show started, but I'll play it for you guys when we get back. I want to take a moment to talk about Friendly Tire in Margate. You know, before I found Friendly Tire in Margate about, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, I would drive on tires I shouldn't have been driving on. And when I found out how low you can get brand new tires for, I never drive around on tires that aren't safe. Go to Friendly Tire. You can get new tires out the door and on the road for as low as $75 a tire. And those are on common sizes that fit some of the most popular vehicles on the road today. And when I say out the door and on the road, remember, Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance your tire, mount your tire, or dispose of your old tire. So new tires as low as $75 a tire out the door and on the road. And he has thousands of used tires in stock as low as $35 out the door and on the road as well. Give him a call, 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445 for Friendly Tire in Margate. We'll be right back. All right, we'll be back in less than a minute. And, okay, okay, here we go, 30 seconds. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Our number is 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. Okay, so Megyn Kelly's out there fence-sitting, trashing Trump and saying bizarre things on her show. Let me play a little bit of this. I have to stop it at one point because she uses some language. Mm. Okay, the yellow light. So she's going to sit on the fence and fence sit and not take a position. She goes on to talk about boots on the ground and that she has 2 sons and a daughter, and suggests that, well, maybe they'll have to go fight in Venezuela, as if her children are going to join the military and become a part of the infantry. You know, this is exactly what I'm talking about, okay? This fence sitting, either before or against it. Take your position. Don't sit on the fence to see which way the wind blows and try to get people to watch you who support that populist position. You know, this fence sitting that's going on, the classified details have been declassified of many parts of this operation. And this operation was beyond just Venezuela and the nonstop attacks that they have committed against us. And it's a lot more than just oil, which is, I hate to say just oil, because oil is very, very important. But the military operation was amazing. Do you know how they knew the exact location of Maduro? CIA had a spy in his inner circle. So they knew exactly where he was and everything else at all times. There was a CIA spy that they had in his inner circle. But militarily, this operation has scared the daylights out of our biggest enemies, China, Russia, and Iran. And let me tell you why. I watched this incredible breakdown of the military operation. In this particular part, we actually used stealth fighters that flew in from Puerto Rico. Boy, it shows you how important Puerto Rico is, right? Thank God we took it and kept it in the Spanish-American War. But we used stealth fighters that flew from Puerto Rico that were the main fighters used. Do you know that we hit them? Now, you do know that we hit Venezuela without them getting a shot off. Do you know that our fighter jets went in and they beat the Chinese radar? See, Russia, China, and Iran had, since they've been exploiting Venezuela with the help of their friends in Cuba, they've given them the most advanced weaponry. So Venezuela had the most advanced Chinese military radar. Our fighter jets got in there without even being picked up on radar. Their anti-aircraft batteries in Venezuela, the most advanced Russian anti-aircraft batteries. They didn't get a shot off. And guess what? The most advanced Iranian drones are in place in Venezuela. And our attack, including our helicopters, by the way, beat all of them as well. And our stealth capabilities from our stealth fighter was able to take out the Chinese radar installations and the Russian anti-aircraft batteries. That's what those explosions were. They didn't even know what happened. They were vaporized. So Russia, China, and Iran are freaking out right now because we beat all three of their militaries in this Venezuelan action. This idea that China is America's equal. Oh, they're the new superpower. I was telling you yesterday that one of the things that we learned in this Venezuelan operation is that the United States is 30 to 50 years technologically ahead of all these other countries. And then when I saw this breakdown yesterday of what we overcame with the stealth fighter went in and cleared the way by taking out the Chinese radar, the Russian anti-aircraft batteries, and the Iranian stealth aircraft so that the helicopters could come in. And we evaded all of that. So not only are these countries not our equal, they're decades behind us in military technology. We're like an advanced civilization compared to these third world nations that have been elevated by themselves and their press agents in liberal circles trying to make us think that they were our equivalent. Do you know how safe Taiwan is today? China is freaking out right now. They had no idea the capability of the United States. And this was just a small op. Putin's freaking out that we may just go in and take him because he's been... you don't think it's occurred to them that Trump, met with Putin in Alaska and Putin went to Alaska and acted like a jerk? You don't think he's freaked out that we could go and nab him? Heck yeah, he is, because we overcame the radar and the anti-aircraft batteries that they use. They've been messing around for how many years? 4 with Ukraine? They've had pretty much a stalemate where they gain an inch here and there for the last couple of years, and they haven't been able to take down Ukraine. You think they'd be able to take us on with our advanced technology that they've never really seen in use like this? And I'm not kidding when I'm telling you that this was the Chinese most advanced radar, the most advanced Russian anti-aircraft, and the most advanced Iranian drone aircraft they have. And we overcame all of it. They didn't even get a shot off. They didn't know it was coming. This is another thing too. We've been off the coast with the Gerald Ford Aircraft Carrier Fleet Group for a long time. We've been flying F-16s over Venezuela for the last few weeks in their airspace. So they knew we were coming at some point, and the most advanced weaponry that our biggest enemies have didn't even know it. And the people manning the most advanced weaponry, they never knew what happened because they were killed and blown up and vaporized instantly before they even knew what happened. That is absolutely amazing. So this is beyond the good work we're doing in Venezuela to stop all these deaths in this country because of what Maduro's been sending here, the drugs and the people. This was also a stabilizing event for these countries around the world, Russia, Iran, and China, who have been acting up. And they've had 2 doses of it with Trump. This, and when we took out that nuclear facility in Iran, putting a bomb down a pipe, right? An air pipe or something that they were talked about. Remember that? So they are terrified. The world, because of this Venezuelan action, the world is a much safer place today. Because they didn't really know what our capability was. And they certainly didn't think that we had the willpower to use it. If you're on hold, stand by. Certainly like to hear your thoughts on all of this. The number is 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you're tuned in from. Sloman's Home Security is offering for a limited time a free home security system with free professional installation as well as 24/7 central station monitoring. You get all that for just $24.95 a month for 5 years. Give them a call, 833-283-5050. This is a free home security system and professional installation, absolutely free. Your Sloman's Home Security System includes a touchscreen keypad, 3 door or window sensors, a motion detector, notifications, and remote keypad access, so you can check in from any time no matter where you are. Give them a call right now no matter where you're located, 833-283-5050. 833-283-5050. We'll be right back. All right, we'll be back shortly, guys. Yeah, Megyn Kelly is out of her freaking mind, isn't she? No doubt about it. Let me see here. Okay, stand by, guys. Okay. We'll be back in less than a minute. Less than a minute. Oh, man, if you're on hold, stand by. If you'd like to call in, the number is toll-free, and it's pinned in the live chat. All right, we're back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Okay, a couple things about Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino put his first post on X yesterday since he is now a civilian, and he's going to make a date announcement soon about the return of his podcast. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be checking it out, and I know you guys will too. And we did get some, I think, something pretty positive from Dan Bongino. Dan Bongino is talking a lot about exposing these fake MAGA people. He was talking about something called black pilling, which I've never heard before. I'm not sure what black pilling is, but he referenced that. I know what red pilling is. I don't know what black pilling is, but I did Google it and it gave me an answer. But my guess is that he's going to start going after the Nick Fuentes and the Marjorie Taylor Greene types, and that's good. If he does that and he does it well, he'll be doing a good service, and we need more voices out there going after these people that are messing around with our incredible MAGA movement, trying to pass themselves off as MAGA when they're not, all this fake MAGA out there. So I will welcome him to do that, and I hope that's where he takes his show. There's a lot of talk that I'm seeing. I don't know how real this is. It's been going on social media for the last few weeks, and it's heating up a lot. There's a lot of talk about rumors, and rumors, there's people are talking about it on Twitter, or X, but I hope this is not true. There's a lot of talk of replacing Pam Bondi with Trey Gowdy. I'm going to play you a clip of Trey Gowdy, which shows you exactly why he should not be Attorney General, but I don't know if you have this experience with Trey Gowdy or not. When Trey Gowdy comes on TV, I turn it off. I can't stand looking at him. Not because of what he says. He's very critical of Trump. And during the campaign, his Sunday Night in America show, I'd catch that early in the mornings on reruns before I went on the air. And he was always critical of Trump and all this stuff. Oh, my goodness. But the reason I turned the channel is not because of his content. I can't stand looking at him physically. He looks like he's had so much cosmetic work, it almost looks like he's transitioning, Trey Gowdy, doesn't he? I can't stand looking at the guy. The cosmetic work he's had is just out of control. I don't know what he's had done, but he's difficult to look at on television. And I got really tired of him when he was in Congress too, Trey Gowdy, because when he was in Congress, he would talk the talk, and then when it came down to the hearing, he'd let us down. So, you know, I was always annoyed by him in Congress. But don't you guys, doesn't he look very strange? But there's another reason he shouldn't be Attorney General, and listen to this. Okay, so, and by the way, when I tell you I can't look at him, that was from a video on X that I played, that audio from, and I didn't look at it when I played it. I was looking just down and away from it because I can't stand looking at him because he is, with all that cosmetic work or whatever he's gotten done, he's physically repulsive to me. And I don't know if you have that experience with him, but I certainly do. And then here he's talking about not arresting Brennan, but having walked down some hall of shame. What does that mean? No. The frustrations that MAGA people have with the Justice Department is that we didn't get the Comey and Brennan perp walks like we got with Maduro over the weekend. We want to see perp walks like that. We don't want to see some walk of shame where he feels bad and he's got some charges and he's not prosecuted. So I don't know where all this social media talk about Trey Gowdy being Attorney General is coming from. I hope it's just, you know, like the game of telephone, people are just reposting it on X and it really means nothing. Now, we got some amazing, absolutely amazing news yesterday, right? First, we got the demotion of Mark Kelly, which is coming. That's great. And that Nick Shirley brought down Tim Walz, that Tim Walz is not running for governor. He didn't resign from the governorship. There's some talk that I've read that the first thing I heard when he announced he wasn't running was that Amy Klobuchar was going to step in and run for governor of Minnesota. And that sounds crazy to me because the best job in government is to be a senator. They don't do that much. They only have to run every 6 years. And once you're in, you're, with some rare exceptions, you're in for life. And you're put on this pedestal. I don't know, becoming governor from the Senate's a major demotion. Going from the House to governor is a promotion, but going the other way is a demotion. But there's some reporting today that Tim Walz, now Tim Walz is nuts. He puts tampon machines in the boys' room, okay? So he doesn't see the world clearly. But there's some reporting that Tim Walz is trying to work out a deal to become the senator, where he wants to switch jobs. He wants to get Klobuchar to run for governor and then get him appointed as the senator in her place and become the senator in the future. If he's working on that, he's an insane man. The reason he's not running for governor any longer is because Johnny Law is coming to Minnesota. They've made about 1,000 arrests already since Nick Shirley's reporting. It's being reported today. They've sent over 1,000 federal agents to Minnesota to investigate this Democrat fraud through the Somali community. And I believe that in his mind, he thinks that if he's not running, the spotlight will be off and he's going to get away with whatever corruption he's been involved in. There's a lot of weirdness going on in Minnesota, and it all leads to Tim Walz. He's the governor. He's in his second term, and this whole operation is under his watch. He knows exactly what's going on. You know, this power that the Somalis have over the Democrats in Minnesota, it is so crazy to me. Have you seen there's a new video of the mayor of Minneapolis dancing with the Somalis to Somali music, doing native Somali dances? It's so strange. And of course, they changed the flag of Minnesota. You've heard this? They've changed the flag from the flag that's been the flag, I guess, forever, to this Somali flag. that they say, the old flag they say was racist. It had an Indian in it and a farmer. I don't know why that's racist. And I found this. This is the guy, this is the liberal social justice warrior who actually designed the Minnesota Somali flag. And listen to him talking about why it had to be done. An Indian. So an Indian was on the previous flag. That's the racist colonialism. Okay, so they've wiped, so that you can tell by his voice. I mean, that's what you've got in Minnesota. You've got a very radical, liberal, lunatic group that's running. But I'm telling you, this very well could be Mike Lindell's year to become governor. Because, you know, as liberal as Minnesota is, people don't like this, this Somali business that's been going on. They haven't liked the Somalis for a long time, okay? And not only have they not liked the Somalis for a long time, the regular people of Minnesota, even though they may be liberal, they got their own police and all this stuff. This theft that's been going on has really pushed them over the edge. And the Somali control over Minnesota is so weird and so bizarre. It's really as if Minnesota has fallen and been conquered. And this guy that made the flag, he said we had to change the flag because of its colonial imagery. Well, Minnesota has been colonized by the Somalis. They even changed the flag to look like the Somali flag because they've been colonized. So, I mean, this is a very bizarre thing that's going on. And there's so much outrage over the Somali corruption that Mike Lindell has a good chance of winning this election, in my view, in Minnesota because of the corruption. And if they had polling data that showed Tim Walz could win it, he'd be in it. They have some internal polling that's showing that he cannot win it. So whether they pulled him out to try to plug in someone who would poll well, I believe that the internal polling of the Democrats is showing that Mike Lindell was going to beat Tim Walz, and that's why he dropped out, not running away from the investigations, because that's still going to happen. All right, let's see here. Yeah, I got time for a call or two. Hold on. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. It's Patty from New Jersey. How are you today?
All right, Patty. What's on your mind?
Well, you know, I want to see if you can make sense of this to me. The gentleman Vance Bolter who shot Amy Horton and her husband.
Yeah.
Apparently had a manifesto that said that Tim Walz was responsible for putting him up to that.
That's right. That's been widely reported. Yes.
Yeah, and also named on that list was Amy Klobuchar. And then I hear over the weekend Amy Klobuchar met with Tim Walz. All right, and you know, so like, I don't understand this. You know, if I were somebody who even had an inkling that this guy wanted me assassinated, I would not be going to a meeting with him.
Well,
so
you know, I'll tell you that
some
manifesto. The guy that assassin, the masked assassin in Minnesota, was a Democrat who held a position that he was appointed to by Tim Walz, and Hortman that he assassinated. Remember, she was the only. She was a Democrat. She was the only Democrat.
And she voted against them, right?
That voted specifically to cut off the Medicaid funding to the illegals, and the Medicaid funding is is what
Correct.
they've been using to fund the Somali daycares and all this other stuff that's been going on. So she voted to cut that funding. And now people are actually looking and saying, well, wait a minute, is what he wrote in the manifesto true about Tim Walz? And I would be shocked if there was a part of, they've sent over 1,000 federal agents to Minnesota. I'd be shocked if they weren't looking into that.
Well, I sure hope they do. And, you know, like I said, when I heard that Amy went and met with him, I'm like, these people are just outright. They're so far under their lies that they can't even see straight, that she would go and meet with somebody who apparently had a hit out on her.
Never underestimate the stupidity of Democrats, right? They're insane.
You can't. Absolutely not. And they're out of their minds. But yeah,
all right, you brought up some good points. I'm up against the break, but I appreciate the call. You make some good points.
Yep, you're good.
All right. If you're on hold, stand by. The number to call in is 888-465-2631. Do you or someone you know suffer from neuropathy? You know, Steve Kane had neuropathy in the worst way. He went to Lighthouse Medical, and after his first treatment, he saw relief from his neuropathy symptoms. And he had all of them in the medical journal, and he had them bad. That's right. And here we are, 3.5 years later. Lighthouse Medical, after the treatment, they rid him of his neuropathy suffering. And 3.5 years later, Steve's neuropathy symptoms have not returned. Lighthouse Medical can help you no matter where you're located in the world. Now, if you're local, please go into the office if you can. But no matter where you are in this country or even outside the country, or maybe local and you can't make it into the office because the neuropathy is keeping you stuck in your home, Lighthouse Medical can help you with your neuropathy over the phone, through telemedicine or Zoom. You don't have to go into the office. Give them a call and set up your no-charge consultation. Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. And online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back. All right, stand by, guys. If you're on hold, hang in there, okay? We will be back shortly. Oh man, we've covered so much today. I mean, this has been one of the just most insane work periods we've ever had, isn't it? No doubt about it. All right. Just the news is amazing. All right. Now, you know, Mom Donnie in New York, things are already going off the rails with him. Okay. Yesterday, he had a press conference and he was talking about making World Cup tickets available for everyone, so everyone can go to the World Cup. Everyone can on television watch it for, I don't know, is it going to be free, pay-per-view, whatever. Go to a sports bar. You know, this idea that he's going to have World Cup equity, everything with this guy's equity. He has this girl that he picked to work for him. She's got this job called tenant director. And she is a 100% Marxist, a 100% communist. And, you know, this idea that, you know, he's a democratic socialist and, you know, democratic socialists are communist. And, you know, we're talking about the end of the Democrat Party, which is about to fade away. What's going to happen with the Democrat Party is they're going through a rebrand. They're going to become the Democrat Socialist Party. And what that is, that's a cover for communism. Okay? And the example I always use with this is the great Andrew Dice Clay, one of the funniest men that ever lived. When he first hit the national scene, and I didn't miss it. Anytime he was on TV, I watched it. Arsenio, whatever he was on, I watched it. And I used to watch his specials. And he had this one joke, which I'm not going to even attempt to tell, but I'll just tell you the gist of it. And it applies to democratic socialist or communist. And he had this joke in his set when he first hit the national scene, Andrew Dice Clay. He was talking about guys that are bisexual. And he says there's no such thing as bisexual. You're either gay or you're not gay. He said it in some salty ways that I can't on the air. And what he was saying is bisexual men are really gay. They just don't have the guts to come out of the closet, so they say they're bisexual. Okay? Well, that's how it is with these democratic socialists. They're all communist. They're 100% Marxist. But they know that even wackadoodle liberals don't want to openly support a communist, so they're afraid to come out of the closet, and they say they're democratic socialist. So this girl just got appointed as tenant director by Mamdani, the mayor of New York, and listen to what she's talking about here. Okay, we've viewed property as an individualized good, not a collective good. It doesn't get more communist than that. The collective. That's a big word in the Soviet Union. Collective farms, collective housing, collective apartment buildings. The collective, that is textbook Soviet-style communism. This is the tenant director. Listen. Okay, so your private property, residential or commercial, is now part of the collective in New York City. And yeah, that's right. Yeah, your rental property is part of the collective. And they're going to take it from you. Mm. POC, that's people of color. So not only are they're going to seize private property, make it part of the collective, and they're going to start with the white property owners, right? So they're going to racially segregate their first seizure. If you're a person of color, they're going to seize your private property too, but they're going to seize the white man's property first. Okay, now this wouldn't surprise me if this was some boyfriendless college girl at Columbia who's got a cat at home and she's walking around in Birkenstocks, okay, spouting this Soviet communism property seizure. However, she's just been appointed to an important position by the sitting mayor of New York City. And she's out there talking about not just seizing private property, but racially segregating it by seizing white people's property first. And they're gonna do this. And the way they're gonna do this is have code inspectors start citing property owners. And they're gonna rack up these huge fees that they're not able to pay. And then they're gonna come in and seize the property for failure of coming up to code and paying the fines from the code violations. Mamdani has talked about this when he was running. Okay, so, and I have no sympathy for New York. You let this guy in. You elected him. Hey, you got what you voted for. Let Mamdani be Mamdani. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. My name is Brian Craig. We're going to take our break for the top of the hour. Steve Kane will be joining us after the top of the hour break. Callers on hold, don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this. My goodness, she's freaking nuts. All right.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hold on.
Okay.
Here you go, Steve. Phone.
Hello?
All right, we got 2 minutes.
Okay.
I want to put you on hold for a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, hold on.
You got somewhere you're going to take it?
Always. Yep, hold on. Yeah, this is from the official Trump store, this Gulf of America hat. I got this from the official Trump store. It's really nice. And of course, like all of Trump's hats, made in America, made in the USA. Yeah, you can get this. They sell these at the White House, too. All right, Steve, you there?
I'm here.
All right, got 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh, man. Oh, boy, oh, boy.
It's amazing.
Yep. All right, 20 seconds. I'm going to put you on hold just for a second, Steve. Okay. You there, Steve?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, here we go. All right, the 8 o'clock hour has begun. Steve Kane joining us. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Hey, Steve.
Good morning.
Oh,
How
man.
are you today?
Oh, I'm doing well. You know, if you're on hold, stand by. Do you know it's almost been a year since I went to Coastal Weight Loss Secret for the first time and started losing all this weight. And I got to tell you, losing weight, I've noticed a few things about losing over 35 pounds. I haven't gained 1 ounce of it back, by the way. People obviously told me over the holiday period that hadn't seen me for a while, hey, you lost a lot of weight, Brian. Yeah. But you know what I also get? You look younger. I get you look younger as much as I get you've lost weight. And it's really amazing. And that's good too. So I'm thinner and I look younger. Give a weight loss secret to call no matter where you're located and schedule your no-charge consultation. It works. And you know what? Keeping the weight off is completely without effort. I haven't gained an ounce back. There's no injections or pills or any of that either. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. Did you want to go to the call, Steve, or do you want to do some recap? Or what do you want to do?
We can take some calls.
All right, let's take some calls. And then we've got a lot. I've been celebrating all morning because, look, Mark Kelly's getting demoted, and he's going to be court-martialed. Tim Walz dropped out of the...
That's a great story.
Oh, yeah.
The heads are starting to roll.
Tim Walz dropped out of the governor's race. I mean, it's just nonstop great news. But let's see what the audience has to say. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Joellen from Fort Lauderdale.
Hey, Joellen.
Hi there. I don't know how they came up with Trey Gowdy as maybe a person to take over for Pam Bondi, but
terrible.
He would be the biggest mistake. I used to love Trey Gowdy, but after Benghazi, that totally changed my mind.
Yeah, he lost me with Lois Lerner. When Laura, I'm not going to go through the Lois Lerner story. Look it up, you'll know. He was one of the big guys on TV exposing Lois Lerner. And then when they had the hearing when he was in Congress, he was sucking up to her and being so sweet and nice to this sleaze bucket, and he lost me then. But he's had so much cosmetic work. He looks like he's transitioning on TV. I can't even look at the guy.
He's got bad hair is what he's got.
And, well, his face, too, has been altered. And you know,
I was shocked when I saw him because I hadn't seen him in a long time. But when I saw him, I was shocked. But yeah, and plus he's not. He wouldn't be a Trump loyalist. That's
he hates
for sure.
Trump. He's always critical of
trust
Trump.
him.
Oh, he doesn't hate Trump. I mean, for heaven's sakes. Listen, he's a good host. He's a good host. He's a good attorney, and he did a good job in Congress. He just didn't like the sleaze, so he quit.
I don't know. I listened to his show during the campaign on Fox Sunday Night in America, and the reason they reran it right like before I'd go on the air in the mornings, and I want to catch the morning.
He's on right after Mark Levin.
Yeah.
He's on right after Mark Levin.
And at the end of his
was
show,
also great.
At the end of his show, every week he was criticizing the way Trump was campaigning. Everything he did, he was critical of during the whole campaign last year.
I think you're being overly sensitive. I didn't pick that up at all.
It was in his ending monologue. He would do this monologue at the end, and he would trash Trump every week.
You missed it, Steve, because it is totally right. He's a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's I was liking what he was saying, but he's like some of the other big talkers and do nothing.
He's a Southern gentleman.
No, he's not. That's his act. That's his front. He doesn't want to arrest Brennan or Comey. He wants them to just be publicly shamed. What the heck? Justice is done without cuffs.
I would disagree with him on that, but that doesn't make him a bad guy.
He's one of them.
Well, yeah, but why would you want somebody in there that's not going to do something? As they say, if the Democrats ever get back in power, you don't think they're going to throw Trump in prison?
Yeah,
they're not going to come after us as Republicans. The thing is, you got to get rid of these people. And they have to be.
Well, I don't equate Brennan. I don't equate Brennan with.
Well, Trey Gowdy doesn't want Trey Gowdy doesn't want Brennan or Comey arrested. Now, Joellen, just to move on to something else, I mentioned this earlier. Dan Bongino put his first post on social media yesterday, leaving the FBI, and he's going to announce soon when his podcast is back, and he said he's going to go after these fake MAGA people like Nick Fuentes and others. So I'm very excited about that. He could do a good job tarring and feathering these Marjorie Taylor Greene types. And if that's what he's going to do, I'll be very supportive of it.
Yeah, I'm anxious to hear, what he's going to do, what he's going to say. Mm-hmm. So, I don't blame him for leaving. I mean, I still think, he loves Trump and he's still a loyalist, but it didn't work out.
Listen,
And,
Steve, this show, Stephen, without getting into details, but here, as an example, I don't like quitters. Here on the Steve Kane Show, this is the longest running radio show in the state of Florida. The Steve Kane Show has been on the air since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. And Steve, we have had so many saboteurs working on this show against us over the years, trying to destroy the show, trying to drive a wedge between you and me, or trying to get rid of me, or trying to get rid. And we've had people that have done so much, and we've stuck through it. And look where we are, right? We're still here, baby. And, you don't just quit when you face some opposition. I don't like quitters.
You know what, though? I think he really tried his best, but I think he really tried his best. But you know what? If you listen to him, and he can probably only take so much. And, for one, his health probably. And he said, I can't do it. I can't do it. And so...
Well, the risk is, the reason that Sarah Palin has not been a part of Trump's administrations is because she quit being governor. She couldn't take it anymore, and she quit. She didn't finish her term. Trump doesn't like quitters.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I'm sure Trump still loves Bongino. I know he does.
Man, I still like Sarah Palin, but she's a quitter. But if Bongino comes back and he makes his focus these fake MAGA people that are trying to destroy our movement, I'll be very supportive of everything he does with that, and I look forward to that.
Yeah, I agree with what you say about New York. The turnout, shame on those people. Shame on those people for not going to the ballot box and voting. They get what they deserve, I always say.
That's right.
But unfortunately, I think he's really going to, between him and the governor, they're really going to ruin that country. And I heard that Stefanik is dropped out of the race. She's not running. Yep. So, that's, I don't know if she had very much of a chance anyway. But
something's up with that. I know she's not running for re-election in the Congress either.
Oh, really?
And if you remember, Trump was going to make her UN ambassador. Then he withdrew it so she'd stay in the House. And she dropped out of the governor's race. And she also, at the same time, announced she's not seeking re-election in the House. I don't know what is up with her. But I like her. She's really tough. I mean, she's the one that called out Hunter Biden to his face. Remember, Hunter showed up to a House committee hearing that she was on the committee with his buddies, and she ripped him right to his face. I love her. I met her,
I love her.
And she's about 3 feet tall. I almost didn't recognize. I was at Mar-a-Lago, and she was walking in front of me. And I didn't recognize her because I thought she was walking with this guy, and I thought it was his child. And then I saw, and it was her. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I told her. I said, I told her. I said, I like how you I talked to her about the Hunter Biden thing. I told her I like how you went right after Hunter and kicked his butt. I said nobody talked to him like that to his face. You're pretty tough. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right, Joellen. So we agree for the first time on a couple things. Yeah. But there's something up with her that she's not running for Congress either. Something's up. I don't know what it is.
Maybe she's, yeah. I'm sure she's going to play some kind of role somehow, but we'll see.
All right, take care. Appreciate the call, Joellen. Joellen's always a good caller. All right, let's. You want to try another one, Steve, for the break?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on.
This is Norm from upstate. This is Norm from upstate New York.
All right, Norm. What's up?
How you doing? I just wanted to tell you. I spoke with you before. I just wanted to tell you how great a job I think you're doing. Just how hard you work and how tight a ship you run. But I think what's most impressive is your willingness to take on like all newcomers, like verbally. Like you remind me of like 2000, mid 2000s Chuck Liddell was afraid of no one, would take on all newcomers.
Mm-hmm.
Had no issues with.
I don't know who. What name did you say? What name was that?
Chuck Liddell.
Do you know who that is, Steve?
Liddell.
I've never heard of him. Never heard of him.
No. Chuck the Iceman Liddell. He was one of the most feared UFC light heavyweights.
Oh, a boxer. Oh, okay. I thought he might be like a radio guy or something, like like Bob Grant or something.
Oh no, I just meant like he just was scared of no one.
Yeah.
Absolutely scared of no one, willing to take on anyone.
Well, I appreciate your kind words. Thanks so much. And I also want to compliment your great taste in programming because you love this show. All right, take care. All right. let's see. I've got, I wanted to talk, Steve, about Wings Plus. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we usually, if you notice, kind of wait until the 8 o'clock hour most times to talk about Wings Plus, because every time we talk about Wings Plus, I get hungry. And if I start talking about them in the 6 o'clock hour, it's like hours before I can eat. Now I can eat like at 9 o'clock, you know, when we get off the air. But when, you know, of course the wings are spectacular. Your favorite's the lemon pepper. Mine's the medium hot, and I usually get I get 2 orders. I get an order of medium hot and the lemon pepper. But when you stray off the wings at Wings Plus, what do you get, Steve? What's your favorite?
Hey, lemon pepper is my favorite.
No, when you get off the wings, when you're not ordering the wings.
They happen to also have great chopped steak, great hamburgers.
Oh, yes.
That's the best you'll find anywhere. Or actually, I get the bacon cheeseburgers, but they're really spectacular.
You know what my favorite is?
Everything is like homemade.
It is.
Nothing comes out of a can.
That's right.
It's just delicious food and just what you want to be.
You're right about the hamburgers.
Watching this.
But I'll tell you what my favorite is, and I think this is one of your favorites too. When I because I get a side, I don't just get the wings, the clam chowder.
Yes.
Oh.
All the soups.
Oh, and the chili.
Soups are great. Everything just out of this world food, and a great way. And also, by the way, if you're giving a party at home, you can put in your order before the game starts and pick it up at halftime, and not have to spend the whole game waiting online. You just run in, run out at halftime. Everything will be waiting for you, and you won't be sorry. I'll tell you, if you like chicken wings, the best you've ever had anywhere.
Yeah, my mouth is watering. Is yours?
Yeah, me too.
My mouth's watering. Listen, Wings Plus is in Coral Springs, about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road. When you stop in, make sure you tell them you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, Steve, and I'm going to call Barry. Okay, hold on.
Good morning.
Hey, Barry, it's Brian. We're going to be back in about 1 minute. Okay, I'm gonna conference Steve in. Hold on. All right, Steve, you there?
I sure am.
Okay, I got Barry on the line too. We have less than a minute, about 50 seconds.
Good morning. Hey, Barry.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. You have a nice New Year and holiday?
Yes, it was excellent. Great having family time.
Yeah. Now it's back to normal.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Back to the salt mines.
All right, 25 seconds. All right, we're back, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group, our first time in the first regular week of 2026. Attorney Barry Siegel, what do you have for us today?
Oh, good morning, Brian. Good morning, Steve. Hope you guys had a nice New Year celebration. I'm going to start off talking about what are the things that we tend to be most worried about and concerned about. And what I would say they would be our family, our loved ones and our assets, and making sure we don't run out of money during our lifetime, making sure our loved ones are well taken care of. And a lot of that can be accomplished through proper estate planning by making sure that you have planning set up so that the next generation is taken care of in the proper way, where your assets are protected from probate and guardianship, where their assets, once it comes to them, will be protected from lawsuits, creditors, and divorces, and making sure that you have the right setup so you or your spouse don't end up having to spend down your assets on the cost of long-term care. That's what we help people do at the Siegel Law Group, and we're starting off January with a whole bunch of our workshops that will teach you the things you need to know and understand to make the right decisions. Starting off this week on January 9th, we have a rare Friday afternoon seminar at our office. Because it's at our office, seats are limited. So if you haven't already scheduled, please call our office and get scheduled so that we have you set to come. Also on January 20th, that's a Tuesday, at 10 a.m., we have a Living Trust seminar. And at 2 p.m., we have a Medicaid planning seminar, also in Wellington. And then for those of you who may be hearing us in Naples or who may want to go over there because it's so beautiful this time of year over there, on January 27th, we're also doing a doubleheader there. At 10 a.m., we're doing a Living Trust seminar, and 2 p.m., a Medicaid planning seminar. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to get the information you need to protect yourself and your family and your money.
Absolutely. Listen, give the Siegel Law Group a call. And if you mentioned you heard Attorney Barry Siegel on the program, you can take advantage of that no-charge in-office consultation. If you've not been to one of the workshops of Attorney Barry Siegel's, which go. If you've been to one and not the other, meaning if you've been to the Medicaid and not to the Living Trust or vice versa, go to the one you haven't been to. I don't know how many I've been to. I've been to a couple of dozen, and I've learned valuable information that is brand new each and every time. Because there's so much that you put into to these things, Barry. Give the Siegel Law Group a call, toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk later in the week.
All right, thank you.
All right, take care. All right. You back with us, Steve?
Yes, I am.
All right, you want to take some more calls?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, hold on. Now, let me talk. Well, before we go back to the calls, I just want to bring up a couple of things, okay?
Sure.
Because I wanted to ask you about this demotion of Mark Kelly. This is a great one. Now, keep in mind, he's part of the Seditious Six, this deep state operation to attempt to cause a military coup against the President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief. And it is not up for debate. He is going to be demoted. Pete Hegseth said yesterday he will be demoted. Not only are they going to demote him, we don't know to what rank yet, but they are, after the demotion, they're going to recall him to active duty and then court-martial him. He'll have to show up in uniform with the reduced rank. Okay, so that means everything to him, that he's a captain, a naval captain. So if he has to come in at any lower rank, even commander, it's going to be a tough thing.
My question to you is, you think it'll teach him a lesson?
Well, he's crazy. He's a crazy person. So no, but I think that he plans on running for president, and he views himself as the front runner in the Democrat presidential race in 2028. So my question to you is this, and I'll throw this out to the audience too. Does this help or hurt him in Democrat circles? Is he likely to get the Democrat nomination going through this demotion by Pete Hegseth and court-martial? Which even if they don't get a conviction in the court-martial, he's still going to have the reduced rank because that's up to Pete Hegseth. Do you think that it increases his chances of getting the nomination for the Democrats or not over Gavin Newsom and these others? What do you think, Steve?
Well, I don't think he's stood a good chance going in, so I don't think it's going to help him that much.
Yeah, that's true. All right, let's take some of these calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, this is Sean from Massachusetts.
Hey, Sean.
Morning, Steve. What's up? Well, you have a good point about Dan Bongino returning to the air because, this would be a great thing for him to do. I mean, he'd be the hammer of all the fakes completely, and I can see him completely going into that direction because we're not just like in a political war here. We're in a cultural war, and it all goes downstream from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be an amazing thing to see happen. I mean, because we really need that remedy, the way we've been seeing. He'll definitely clean house because I've seen his conviction. And maybe that's just where he belongs. I mean, I didn't want to see him quit like that. And we don't want to see that happen. But if he's going to do something else, we better be able to put 100% into it to help the MAGA movement
Absolutely.
go forward.
I am all for Dan Bongino taking down these fake MAGA people. And if he used a term I've not heard, he's going to go after the people the black-pilled people, which I've not heard that phrase. I really don't know what it means, but I kind of.
Well, it's a takeoff of your red pill and
yes.
What are the different pills? Red pill and white pill?
There's only the red pill. Nobody takes the blue pill. No one's going to go from Republican to Democrat, not legitimately, unless they've been bought off or blackmailed. But what I think he means are the Marjorie Taylor Greene types, the Nick Fuentes types, and those people. And we don't have anybody out there who's been at the national level going after those people. So if he does that, that may be where he does his best work.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I've heard the term black pill actually.
Really?
Those are people that basically what that means is just that people have lost complete hope. That's quote unquote.
Oh, okay.
People that are just to the point of negativity, to the point where they ever really truly MAGA, and then they get all, he's going to try. Yeah, I guess that's his goal. He's going to try and get those people to kind of just rethink everything.
Well, he's good, so he made that. If he does that and he does it well, he would have. He'll win back the respect of those of us that have been frustrated. The frustration against him is it's not really him because he wasn't the boss, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's Pam Bondi was where the major frustration goes. He's not the boss. He was deputy director. Deputy director, they don't have any authority over the director or the attorney general.
That's true. I think this is, I think he's going to have more dominion onto his words now when he has his own platform back. Because when you saw how successful he was doing, he was slaying when he was on the air, when he was doing the show. I mean, it was incredible. And he was getting across a lot of people. And I think this is the most effective way overall for him to do it. And if he's going to do it and he's going to go back to where he was doing, maybe, he can triple down now and go even further. Because I think that he could.
That's right. So we got a lot of good news yesterday, right? We got the demotion of Kelly and Tim Walz dropped out of the governor's race. See, I think Tim Walz dropped out of the governor's race because the internal polling is showing that he can't beat Mike Lindell, who's running for governor.
He dropped out because he's getting ready to go to jail.
Well, how's that going to stop him from going to jail?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think he realizes the seriousness of his situation.
It's pretty serious. He may end up on a flight to China before it's over.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at his body language. Just yesterday, he looked like a wreck. His hair, he's got no glasses on. His hair was all over, whatever hair he had. He's just all over the place, and he just looked like a wreck.
Yeah, and then when he was done, he went out into the snow with his daughter and made this weird video acting like everything was happy because he can spend time with his family now. And his daughter's nuttier than he is. It was so fake. The two of them out there playing in the snow together, smiling. Give me a break.
Mr. Family Man, right?
Mr. Family Man.
He's not fooling anyone.
Well, a lot of these people that have their stolen money, they better watch out. I was surprised to see this. Do you know that that Switzerland has frozen Maduro's money in the Swiss bank accounts? So, so all these people that have their stolen money from the Somali scam and everything, it's not safe in Switzerland, probably the Caymans either.
Wow. I mean, they really did a lot of damage.
I've never heard of the Swiss doing that before. Have you? I thought they stayed out of it.
No.
All right, appreciate the call. Listen, guys, here we are. It's the first Tuesday in the first full week of 2026. Don't let this be another year that you don't keep your New Year's resolution to lose weight. Call Coastal Weight Loss Secret. Make sure you mention me, and you can schedule your no-charge consultation. I lost about a pound a day. without any exercise, eating foods I would normally eat, not starving myself, and there's no pills and no shots and any of that stuff either. Okay? I lost about a pound a day. Now, if I would have exercised, I would have lost a little bit more, but, you know, please. About a pound a day was fine by me without exercising. And the cool thing about it is, it's been many months since I lost more weight than my goal weight, and I've kept it all off. The maintain phase is so easy because I didn't have those big lifestyle changes of weird food, starving myself, or exercising. And I want to emphasize, there's no pills, no shots, no injections, okay? People ask me about that sometimes, and no, there's none of that. Give them a call, call Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and no matter where you are, they can help you. No matter where you are in the world, lose weight, like I have. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300, and online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back. All right, I'm going to put you on hold for a minute, Steve. All right, hold on.
Okay.
Steve, you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, stand by. Okay. We've got about 90 seconds. Oh, man. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll go to the calls when we get back. 1 minute.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to put you on hold for 1 second, Steve. Okay, Steve, you there?
Yes.
Okay, hang in there.
I'm sure you don't go away.
Don't worry. 30 seconds. I'm going to go back to the phones because I covered a lot today. All right, we're back. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve Kane is here. I'm Brian. If you're on hold, stand by. I was going to go back to the phone, Steve.
Yes, let's do that.
All right, we've covered so much. This has been I just can't believe how much news broke just yesterday on Monday. All right, let's go.
Only just begun.
Oh, this is the golden year of Trump. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian from Deerfield.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hi, Steve. Well, I tell you, there's so much to talk about, but I just want to bring out a few points. First of all, congratulations to our military, the planning that went into this mission. Well done, well executed, and I think just spectacular.
Did you Steve, did you hear me talk about what the military operation, what was declassified?
Yes.
I mean, I want to go over this.
No, I didn't.
Oh, listen to this.
Okay.
Okay. Now, keep in mind, they knew we were coming for weeks because we had the fleet there, and we've been flying F-16s in their airspace for the last few weeks.
Right.
The first attack, where all those explosions came in, were from stealth fighters. I think they're F-35s that came from our Air Force base in Puerto Rico, where we're going to be, Steve, on our MAGA cruise in a couple of months. And and remember, they didn't get a shot off. Okay. The radar didn't detect our fighters coming in. The radar is the most advanced Chinese military radar system. They couldn't detect our aircraft. The guys running the radar don't even know the attack happened. They were dead before that's when they knew. When they were dead, they knew the radar didn't work. The anti-aircraft batteries that we blew up are the most advanced Russian anti-aircraft batteries. They didn't get a shot off.
I think that's the S-300 or something like that.
Yeah, whatever it is. The drones, they have the most advanced Iranian drones. They were ineffective not just against our fighter jets, but against our helicopters from the Marine Corps as well. So what happened there? We defeated Russia, Iran, and China's most advanced weaponry. And what we've learned, what has now become publicly known, is that we are decades technologically ahead of China, Russia, and Iran, and they are scared you-know-whatless.
It's not just what we learned.
To show that.
Exactly right. That's the point. It's what they learned. They learned that they're not safe anywhere.
No, that China. They've been promoting this idea that China's the other superpower, like equal to us, and Taiwan is perfectly safe. And you know they're not even going to challenge us now. I believe our military technology is 30 to 40 years more advanced than the Chinese and the Russians and the Iranians, easily.
Well, you know, we had layers of coverage on that. Now, one thing they mentioned just in passing, that we also had Space Force involved above everything else. I'm wondering what exactly that was including in that too.
They might as well be China and Russia. I mean, look, Russia's been fighting. They can't gain an inch. They've been in a deadlock with Ukraine for the last 2 or 3 years, and look what we did. You know, they might as well be coming after us with biplanes and dirigibles. They were and I don't think that's an exaggeration. We beat them all.
But think about this: we had 150 planes in the theater there in this military 150. I mean, to coordinate just all that, it's incredible. Can we say that General Raisin Kane has a very high military IQ? I think so.
He's brilliant.
I think so.
And Pete
Oh my goodness me! And kudos to Delta Force, a flawless campaign. I heard they were inside where Maduro was, and he didn't even know it.
It's okay. Maduro, his house was on a military base, so that's protected with the Chinese, Russian, and Iranian stuff, and they didn't even know we were there, right? It's been reported that we were able to know exactly where Maduro was at all times. The CIA, Radcliffe's CIA, had a spy in his inner circle.
Okay. John Radcliffe is a very talented person. I like him a lot.
He's good.
But this whole campaign was just incredible, and. You know, our military is just very, very, very well run, and what they don't even know that we have, what we do, what the things that we have, they don't know about.
Well, we have some type of advanced technology. It's not your regular EMP or whatever those things are. We were able to knock out the electricity that we wanted to knock out, and still have the other electricity.
I would say the biggest danger we face now is overconfidence.
Oh, I don't think it's overconfidence. We're just you and I were just learning what we got, and the media are trying to make fun of them because in the makeshift situation room at Mar-a-Lago, they had a big screen with Twitter up on it, X. I was telling you yesterday, I woke up at Saturday morning about 1:30 in the morning, and I go on X, and I'm seeing live footage of the strikes happening. They had this is what they did. This is amazing what they did. Remember, Elon Musk, who owns X, had a private dinner with the president and first lady 2 nights ago at Mar-a-Lago, just the 3 of them. They were using, Elon Musk, they were using X to get surveillance footage on the scene in real time as to what was going on with our military strikes. That's why they had X up.
Incredible.
If you were, I was watching. I woke up. I did a live stream at about 3 a.m. Saturday morning covering this. You had live footage right from where the explosions were taking place, and that's why they had it up. I imagine a lot of that were CIA assets.
Yeah. No, I heard he's now providing internet service to Venezuela through Starlink. Is that true?
I mean, what happened in the entire world is safer today and much more stable because China and Russia are like, we got nothing. I mean, the technology that the Russians and Chinese have is like early 1990s technology, and we're like in the 25th century.
Yes. The intel done on this before we even made a move. There's two countries, Israel and the United States, can do this, but this was a huge event, and the intel that was done before this, and the planning on this, and it just incredible. I mean, they deserve all the praise that we lavish on them, and the leadership and again, Delta Force, man, these guys, they move in, they move out, nobody knows they're there, and the mission's over. They were in there for 5 minutes, and they already got Maduro.
And you know, Maduro and these guys, I hope we can see the video, because I was surprised how big Maduro is. He's a big oaf. He's a big guy.
He is, yeah.
So, and when they extracted them from the roof of the building, so I'm very curious. I mean, and I know these Delta Force guys, they're bad. I mean, they're big guys, and they're all muscle and all that. But he's not an easy guy to pick up and move. And a guy that's that big, he doesn't, I would think he would resist a little bit. I would love to see the footage of them carrying him out of the building with his lunatic Ava
That
Braun
would be
wife.
nice. You know what I heard? They had 4 teams of 12 Delta Force guys, and Maduro had a secret tunnel to get out, and the Delta Force Team 3, when he came out of the tunnel, were waiting for him right there.
Did you see what he did? Did you see what he did during the perp walk? He was wishing everybody a happy new year.
Yeah.
He's out of he's insane.
Well, isn't it a great thing we took him alive? Because this guy is going to sing. I heard Delta Force has 1,200 pounds of just financial records and transactions and things doing with elections, and this guy is going to sing. He's going to. Thank goodness. I think it's great that we got him out of there alive.
He was very defiant in court yesterday. The judge is 92 years old, appointed by Bill Clinton, and all the reports said that this judge is very well with it and pretty tough the way he acted. And Maduro went into the court and said, "I'm the president of Venezuela. I'm a prisoner of war." And the judge said, "This isn't the time. Sit down." And he did it.
Good. Well,
it was pretty cool.
A lot of people are sweating this out, I think. A lot of people are very concerned what he's going to say, so we'll see.
Putin's afraid he's going to be picked up. Because, Putin, when he came to Alaska, acted like a jerk, playing around with Trump like that, lying to Trump, going there and all that stuff. And now he's thinking, I didn't realize who I was messing with.
Well, you know what? That evening that he met Trump, didn't he launch a strike on Kiev, I think?
Maybe. Yeah, and I'll tell you, I saw Zelensky over the weekend. He looked terrified too.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate the call. All right, let's. We got time for one more before the Gold Report. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Morning, Brian. It's Greg.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, listen. A few issues that. Hey, good morning, Steve. First and foremost, Brian, you're like a bully. As soon as you don't agree with someone, you make fun of their appearances. You're no GQ model, 5'6" GQ model yourself. But you attack Trey Gowdy, by the way, whose resume far exceeds yours. Far exceeds it.
What
you
does
attack
that?
Some Mark Levin.
So what?
You attack some Mark Levin, who's much closer to President Trump than you. You attack him.
You're so pathetic.
You attack people.
You're so pathetic. You're doing what you're accusing me of doing. To feel good about what you're doing is, I don't know what you call this. If Dr. Lemaski, I don't know, you've been in therapy a lot, Steve. You might know the term. You're trying to feel good about yourself by throwing in as many takedowns of me that you think you can throw out.
No, I'm giving you a taste of your own medicine.
Oh, you're not giving me a taste of anything other than your pathetic insecurities.
No, you're pathetic. The way you attack people that by the way, have far many viewers and listeners than you. All these people are far more. You're just a YouTuber right now. There's thousands of them.
Okay.
That's right. You're a YouTuber.
I'm just a YouTuber.
That's all.
I know. If I'm so insignificant, Why do you listen and call in? Why aren't you listening and following these more important people?
Someone has to hold you accountable. Your minions just agree with everything
Greg,
you say.
Listen,
and by
Greg,
the way,
there's
the
always,
opposition-
excuse me, there's always a bigger fish, right? No matter who you
Not
are,
always.
there's always a bigger fish, unless your name's Donald
Then
Trump.
Okay, let me ask you this question with regard to your. By the way, you also recite figures that are so inaccurate. There's only 105,000 overdose deaths per year in the United
President
States.
Trump said 300,000.
Well, guess what? He's wrong. He's
You're
wrong.
not.
Look it up yourself.
No, he's more
I looked it
accomplished.
up.
Hold on a second. He's more accomplished than you. So he's obviously a more informed person. Listen, we got to go for the gold
It doesn't
report.
make
Take
him-
care. You need some therapy. Call Dr. Lemaski. She can help you with your insecurities. All right. I'm going to put you on hold, Stephen, and we're going to come back with the gold report.
Sounds good.
All right, stand by. We'll be right back. Oh, my goodness. All right. If you're on hold, stand by.
Hello.
Hey there. We have about 1 minute.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to conference Steve in. Hold on. Put you on hold for a second. Okay. Steve, you there? Hold on. Steve, you there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to conference William. Hold on. All right, William, we have about 35 seconds. Are you with us, William?
Yep.
Okay, stand by. All right. All right, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated in Boca with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals are moving ahead. Still strong, with resistance only about 4,500 for gold and maybe not even resistance there, and 80 for silver. Yesterday we saw gold move up $117.90, up $117, closing out the day at $4,448.20 after trading as high as $4,456. Silver gained $3.77 yesterday, closing out the day at $76.54. Platinum gained $131 at $22.75, and palladium was up $83 at $1,701 the ounce. This morning we saw gold trade in a range, or overnight, from $4,427 all the way up to $4,476, and right now gold is at $4,463. That's up another $13.80. Silver up $2.05 at $78.60 the ounce. Platinum up $46 at $2,321, and palladium up $26 at $1,727. So the markets are doing very strong, very well, and building some very strong bases for these metals to not only to go higher, but to stay high, which is what everybody's concerned. Right? You know, is it going to end anytime soon? Are we going to go back down? All these questions are being answered by the way the metals are actually performing, and that means I think we're going much higher.
Absolutely, and I mean everything's on fire, but silver, we're I mean, this is crazy where we're at. This is absolutely amazing. Listen, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. Remember, you can do your transactions no matter where you're located in the world over the phone and through the mail, and it's all very secure. If you can stop in, please do. Everything is available for immediate delivery at William Youngerman's. His address in Boca Raton is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca, on the first floor of the Bank of America building, immediately east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And when you enter the building, William Youngerman is in the lobby directly across from the bank lobby. You can't miss it. His phone number is 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And find both his address and phone number on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, also our foreign exchange department is back open again after the holidays, so if you're traveling, we have over 60 different currencies that you can get from us and or buy or sell. Thank you.
Yeah, oh yeah, so if you have some foreign currency that you have left over from a trip, you can take it in there and turn it into U.S. dollars. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow.
Have a great day. Thank you.
All right, take care. All right, Steve, you back with us?
Yes, I am.
Oh, man, okay.
Trying to recover from the gold report.
I can't believe we're almost at $80 for silver. I mean, it's crazy. It's amazing. It's really beautiful. All right, let's go. You're on the air.
I love you.
Oh, we interrupted something.
Good morning.
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Patricia from Massachusetts.
Hey, what's
I
up?
was just wondering if you saw Mark Kelly on Jon Stewart.
No, I don't watch Jon Stewart.
No. I don't usually either, but a clip of him came up. He's trying to backpedal off his nonsense.
Too
I
late.
was wondering if you think him going down will take any of the other seditionists down.
Well, he's
That's my
he's the only one that's retired military, and because he's a retired officer receiving a pension, he's always subject
Man,
to recall.
when you say backpedaled, what did he say that makes you say that?
He's saying Jon Stewart asked him point blank, do you think these are illegal orders? And he said, well, there's 40 pages of information and they're trying to backpedal. And Jon Stewart's like, well, were they illegal orders? And he's like, well, there's 40 pages that they gave us. So when you lose, Jon Stewart, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I forgot about Jon Stewart. He is a real liberal jerk. He is a hardcore liberal monster. He's a very unpleasant person.
I agree. And like I said, I just happened to see that while I was listening in
the thing with Mark Kelly, okay, the Seditious Six, it was a whole deep state operation. The first one is that senator who's ex-CIA, and you're always CIA. She's probably the leader of the deep state, right? In the Senate. One of the other Congress people was a former national intelligence person, but she's the wife of the national security advisor to Biden, right? I mean, it was a total deep state operation, and they conned him into doing it. And I sense a lot of regret from him. He's like, oh man, I let them talk me into it, and I screwed up. I just feel that with him.
Yeah, and I think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, her husband was one of the ones who signed that the Hunter Biden laptop was fake.
Yes, there was Russian disinformation. You are correct. Her husband signed that. Yep. All right. Appreciate the call. You made some good points.
I was just wondering if they've set a precedent. Can they go after these people after, even if they're not military?
Well, you can't. The other ones are civilians. I mean, the military. Yeah. They're going after him using the military justice, system, which he's still a party to. All right. Appreciate the call. Thanks so much. You made some good points. Yeah, Kelly, I'm glad. I didn't see that, but I'm going to pull that up after the show and look at it and see if he should be having some regret. Losing his rank is a done deal. It's not, they did that to Ronnie Jackson. They demoted Ronnie Jackson from admiral to captain because he gave President Trump a good health report. This guy, I mean, he's trying to cause a military coup like Burt Lancaster in 7 Days in May. No, he's definitely got some. He's got some regret. They've sent over 1,000 federal officers to Minnesota investigating the Minnesota fraud.
Really?
Yeah. I've got the number.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, let me see if I can find the number because it's more than 1,000, a lot more, and I think I remember what it is. But let me see if I can find the article because I don't want to say and be wrong, and then be disappointed by the number that is huge. But yeah, this is I think that's going to be the big midterm election issue. Is going to be the Minnesota fraud story. They've
Do you think this has changed the odds? And we were worried we were going to have problems with the midterm election. Do you think some of the pressure is off with that now?
I'm very confident. They've sent 2,000 federal agents to Minneapolis to arrest illegals and investigate the fraud that Nick Shirley exposed a week and a half ago. 2,000 federal agents. That's a lot.
It looks like they've got it timed perfectly.
For the midterms? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely they do, yeah. Well, timing's everything.
I think that whole thing with Bongino, just to be on record again, I think that whole thing was about timing. I think obviously Bongino had the information, the knowledge about what was about to occur, and I don't think he liked sitting on it, but I think Trump's meticulous planning here, you had to hold back to be to the timing on the thing to coincide with Trump's wishes. And I think when it gets to the part of the story where they examine the conflict between Bongino and Trump, I think that's where you're going to find it's about timing.
Yep, that's right.
Of the announcements.
Now listen to this, Steve. Listen to this. This is from a listener. They're talking. They went and had the heart scan at Life Imaging FLA, right?
Yeah.
Listen to this. I had no symptoms, none. I only did the scan because my wife insisted. Life Imaging FLA found an issue that required immediate follow-up. My doctor told me it saved my life and gave me years of life ahead of me that I wouldn't have had. Isn't that something? It's amazing to me. See, I thought that when people had heart attacks and stuff like that, or even cancer, but especially the heart, that it just happened with a lot of buildup to it. Like you would have very high blood pressure, or you would have pains, or you'd be out of breath, and that's just not the case. And
well, sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. That's what you want to take the risk out of it.
Exactly. And what happens? I've come to learn is that when you've got blockage and things in your heart, that your body adjusts to it, so you don't have those symptoms. And I'm hearing from person after person, they go in for the heart scan, they find blockage. They go in for they have the cancer screening too, and they find out that they got something, and they had no symptoms, they didn't know, and they're alive today because of it. It's really amazing. This is a public service announcement we're doing here with Life Imaging FLA. Listen, they have locations in Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan now with a few minimum requirements valued at $699. From your cell, call pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250, just say free heart scan. Again, pound 250, say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. All right, well, we're winding down for the day, but it's really amazing, Steve, how much news is breaking nonstop, right? I mean, and the Mark Kelly, the Tim Walz, the Maduro, and Venezuela. It's just boom, boom, boom. It's nonstop. It's nonstop. Trump is not.
It makes you wonder what's going to break between now and the election.
Oh yeah, I'm setting it up, Steve, so we can. I've already got it set up, and I even did a test on it where we can broadcast from our cruise this time because the news is happening. You never know what's going to happen.
Great.
Yeah, so we can broadcast from the cruise ship. Now that does require getting up in the morning and not drinking the night before. So.
Are you sure you're going to be there?
Well, I know I'll be at the Martini Bar. I don't. Yeah, I'll be fine. No, I'm serious.
I have
though.
every confidence in that.
No, I've set it up so we can broadcast from the cruise ship from no problem at all, and it'll be set up in my suite, or there's other places we can do it too. But those of you that are coming on the cruise, we're gonna have a great time, and you might, if news breaks and we go live on the air from the cruise ship, you might find yourself co-hosting the show with Steve and I, especially if I've had too many adult beverages the night before, but I'm not going to do that. All right, listen. You're listening to Florida's longest running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Steve Kane, of course, has been here. My name is Brian Craig. If you're new to the program, welcome. We are here weekday mornings. And, of course, this is where MAGA comes to talk. And who knows what news we'll have for you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., but I know this, there's a new news cycle about every 2 hours these days, so we're going to have a lot to talk about tomorrow. All right, God bless America, God bless Venezuela and Donald Trump. See you tomorrow. All right, Steve, I'll call you later.
Okay.
All right, take care. All right, now, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. And I want to say before I go, I mentioned this at the beginning, first hour of the program. The other day, I asked you guys, it was over the weekend, over the holiday, that if you could become a part of my marketing team and take the link to the YouTube program and share it on your social media. And about 1,000 of you did. And I want to thank you all for doing that. And if you could continue to take the link to this program and share it on all your social media and invite your friends and followers to check the show out, I'd appreciate it. And those of you that have already done it, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Thanks for watching.